11:03 on a Friday. We are live. We've got tropical vibe today. The Celsius. Bring it up. We'll bring the YouTube is up. The Twitch is up. Connection looking good. Are we live on Kick as well? We'll put it up everywhere. We'll see who joins in. TikTok going live right now. I think that one's online. Lucas, what's going on? How are you doing on a Friday? Welcome back in. Who's got big weekend plans? I don't think I'm doing anything. Let's pull up the stats from the game last night and go through it. Woody Marks. I feel like I got that one right. Thankfully, you benched Allen for May. Yeah. Let's find one without. There we go. I had Allen at 3. So that's not going to work out for me. James Cook, great performance. 20 points. Khalil Shakir, looking good. Even with a fumble lost. Let's go to the scores and bring it to the final. We'll look at it this way. Khalil Shakir, solid game. Christian Kirk getting the touchdown. Jayden Higgins looking all right. And then we'll check in with Nico Collins. Did he finish the game? I don't see any injury designation. I got messages saying what happened to Collins. I think he's all right. Sage, good caption. Allen did in fact bum me out. Okay, we got it. G saying Gibbs for Achan. Like, why? I think that Achan and Gibbs are kind of just the same thing going forward, and Gibbs doesn't have a bye. Saying Nico's fine, no catches second half. MP690, with Herbert out, I had to drop Burrow for a spot. Do I pick up Bryce Young, Tyler Shuck, or Trevor Lawrence? I think I'm going Trevor Lawrence on that one. 20% chance to win now. That's not that great. Lucad sold by not starting Shakir and Texans defense over the Browns. Hey, that's normal. I don't think that's crazy. I pulled up, like, maybe they are the best defense, but Baltimore has a good defense. Josh Allen was great against them, and they didn't look that good. New England has a good defense. They lost this game, but he scored fine points, and the defense wasn't amazing. Like, 8 is going to be a low number on the year. Tampa Bay has a solid defense. He put up 42 there. Matthew McGovern, would I do JSN for Pickens and Kyron Williams? I think I would want a little bit more. Mario, if Bucky's out, do I like stashing Sean Tucker or Rashad White better? I would start Sean Tucker over Rashad White. It's Gavin. What do you think I could get for Genty? You need a running back? Let me find it for you. We did a video on Genty. We've been doing trade values as on long form. So we covered Genty in the past couple. Oh, this one here. It's titled Ashton, Genty, and More from Wednesday. So take a look at that one. Purdy or Baker from user 417. I've got Baker at 9. And it's a similar setup for what I was just showing with Josh Allen. Like, against good defenses, Houston did shut him down, but a lot of the time, these guys that are solid can score against top defenses. So I've got Baker lower than I normally would. I would have him top 5, top 6. I've got him at 9. Yeah, Lucas, I've seen this as well. A post saying Bucky is out with a non-football related issue. I mean, has that been picked up on Sleeper? I did not dig too far into that. NFL insider Mike Florio. Anytime I see him referenced, I also see people say Florio's an idiot. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. He's still listed as questionable. We'll see what the practice situation looks like today. G-Dog Jamar for Christian McCaffrey. Needing some running back help. Like, I think that's fine. That's still a fine swap. J-Ray Stream, Little Deep, but Trey Tucker, Jerry Jeudy, or Yoshivas. It might end up being Yoshivas without Jamar Chase. I think I would end up with Jerry Jeudy there, ahead of Trey Tucker, and probably actually ahead of Yoshi Voss. Luke Garza, my glorious King Florio. Ugh. MGK. Do you like that guy? I don't actually know anything about him, Luke. Kyler Alvarez, Flex Sean Tucker, Monty, BTJ, or Worthy? I think I'm going down with Brian Thomas. There. Luke, you're indifferent on Mike Florio. I think I know what he looks like. Let's just look him up. Yeah, this guy. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Pro Football Talk. I'm pretty sure that this is the guy people don't like. I don't know how to feel about him. CJ sit 1, Goff, Baker, Burrow. I mean, if Burrow's playing, I guess I'm sitting Goff. CKXPRS dart out. Would I play Brissett or Darnold? I would start Darnold. What's the matchup there? The Titans. That should be smooth sailing there. Kerfalicious. I have 3 receivers. I need 1 for flex and the other one for a wide receiver spot. Slayton, Dortch, Tez. You're already starting Ibuka. I'm probably Slayton and Tez there. Lucad. Is Ollie Gordon the #1 handcuff for Achane, or will their other running backs see a lot of touches? Yeah, I'm with you on this. Ooh, gotta clear the throat. I think it would be Jalen Wright getting a fair amount of work there, that it wouldn't just be a #1 transfer over to Ollie Gordon. It would be split. Fresh cut nut, the first game I get Josh Allen, it all goes wrong. Oh no, did you just trade for him? Watermelon Nico sold me. Yeah. Wasn't sure what was going on, but apparently no issues with health, just taken out of the game. His snaps were down. Okay, nursing an ankle, 75% of the snaps instead of 80. But I would have liked to seen that higher. Would I start Baker or Brissett from Lucas? I would start Baker. Evie, FH, Tucker, or Ramondre? I think I would end up with Ramondre if he's playing. What's the practice reports on Stevenson? Could face limited workload upon eventual return from injury. I think that's just someone's perspective. Who is this coming from? The text is also very small on my screen. I don't see a name of who's saying that, whose opinion that is. I don't know that a team would say that. Let's see. Lucad, do you feel another handcuff like Algier would be better, although I don't have Bijan? I mean, it could be. These are all low percentage moves. So you're like, yeah, you could end up getting Algier. I don't know if the reason that I would say stick with your own guys would be like if you get Algier and he pops up and you're still not starting him. Like the example I used in the video today was Bijan. You have Bijan, Kyron, and then a handcuff. But if you had like Gibbs, Kyron, and Algier, do you then start Algier? I don't know. Like he gains a lot of value, but you can't trade him, and you're not really starting him. So we're just looking for the extreme situation where you lose a guy, somehow still win that week, and then can start the backup next week. Let's see, Fresh Cut Nut. I just traded Lamar for Allen and Ibuka for Chase. Oh, dang. Camden, start Michael Wilson or Odunze in the flex. I'm starting Odunze, Camden. Do I feel comfortable starting Trevion even with Stevenson coming back? Not a ton. Not really. Scuba Steve, first week of having Nico was no bueno. Uh-oh. Juan Cruz. Who RB1 and 2 started Barkley or Javonte Williams? I would start both of those guys. And I would start, Barkley, Kyron, or Javonte Williams. I would start Barkley and Kyron and Williams in the flex usually. Octave Milano, trade Jacobs for Barkley for the playoffs. I mean, I would just trade Jacobs for Barkley for in general. Frag resolution, would I start Jefferson or Tet McMillan? This week, I would start Justin Jefferson. Nicholas, Dowdle and Jacobs for CMC and Bucky. I would possibly just stay away from trading for Bucky. If the news reports are saying he could be out longer, like why risk it if it's an even value trade? Kerfilish just watched your video on London, but I'm still unsure of what to do. Ibuka's my other wide receiver, and my running backs are Kamara and Charbonnet. Like, did you shop and see what your offers are? Like, see what offers you can get. Who dat boy Mike? Who would you rather have, Burrow, Caleb, or Daniel Jones? I mean, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. If they say he's healthy, then I'll go with him being healthy. Shakir balled for me from Real G Savage. Yes. I definitely said Shakir over plenty of people. I had Shakir at 26. So I know I got some Shakir questions that I said Shakir on, so I feel all right about that one. Fresh Cut Nut, I'm not super panicked on Allen. I know he'll come back just fine, but unfortunate it happens on the first week you have him. Absolutely. Jordan Johnson, I have both Ferg and Jawan. I don't like either matchup. Which one should I start? I would always start Ferguson. I'm pretty much always starting Ferguson. Steele, should I take out Aaron Jones or Kamara? Like sit one? We do have positional rankings for questions like that under our weekly ranks. I have Aaron Jones at 20 and Kamara at 23. So I'm starting Aaron Jones slightly ahead. Ken Walker or Montgomery? I think it ends up being pretty similarly close. I've got Ken Walker ahead on that one. Eccentric Phase ended up scooping up Burrow and have Mahomes. Do you think I should trade Mahomes and Hampton for Lamar and Bigsby? No. I mean, if you have Burrow, I'm not trading Mahomes for a different quarterback. I would maybe possibly trade him for someone to fill in 1 week and a much better receiver. But I don't want to end up in a spot where I have Lamar and Burrow and then I'm picking which one to start and which one to bench. I just want the best playoff lineup. Camden had Shakir but didn't start him. Oy. Little unfortunate. Hope Odunze can get more than 17. Hopefully. Jeff Buckley fan with the heart me's. Thank you, Jeff Buckley fan. Real G Savage with the heart me's. Thank you as well. Nick Santuoso Suoso. It moves as I try to read it. Santo Suoso. That might be it. Dowdle and Nick, we covered that. I don't really want to trade for Bucky Irving. Are we sending Dowdle and Josh Jacobs for Christian McCaffrey? If you have a third running back, you're moving Dowdle, Jacobs, and you have a third guy that's really good, and we don't need Bucky Irving, I guess I can make that deal. But it seems like we're just taking on a lot of risk without pricing in the risk. Jake Stark, Shuck, or Metcalf in the Superflex? Probably Tyler Shuck for me. Max, do I start Tyrod Taylor or Jameis Winston? I would go with Jameis Winston for higher upside. Ooh, all right, Kerfalicious. Oh, it looks like I'm missing a couple. Eccentric Phase, Laporta out for the season. Yeah. Is that new news coming out? Back surgery. It's probably not coming back. Kerfalicious, I forgot I have Hampton on my bench. I think I'll trust Cousins to feed London the ball. Hopefully. Jackals 4, saw your TikTok on handcuff season. I have Christian McCaffrey, Gibbs, and Kyron as starters. I have Monty and Mason as RB2. Should I drop Mason for Corum? Yeah, you could also try to move Corum or Mason in some sort of trade. But if you have CMC, Gibbs, and Kyron, CMC, Gibbs, Kyron, and Monty, you can, I mean, I probably still would pick them up. You're kind of doing that in a spot where you wouldn't have a better option. Like, what do you have? CMC, Gibbs, Kyron, and you already have Monty. I guess I would end up putting Corum in around the same rank as Monty. Super Teasy, what's up? You got 2 trades, Puka and BTJ for Ladd and Barkley. Maybe Puka and Bryce for Allen and Monty. Thinking of doing none. Yeah, I don't think I want to do either one of those. All right, we got MB129 on YouTube trading away Johnston, Worthy, Emmanuel Wilson, and a kicker for Waddle and Metcalf. Good, or should I retract? Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't know that we're ever starting, that we need to start Quentin Johnston, Worthy, Emmanuel Wilson. I mean, even if you were starting Johnston and Worthy, you send away Emmanuel Wilson and a kicker and you get Waddle and Metcalf to replace them. I like that. No clue where your username came from. Please excuse my username. I did censor that one. Scuba Steve Laporta needs to see Gronk stock. Yeah. Thoughts on Algier this week? I don't have him ranked. Or, I mean, where do I have him? I probably have him ranked, but I'm not looking to start. I have him at 37. I think he was about 50% getting touchdowns. But if the team is just worse, I don't have him ranked that high. Adrian Gotway's Lions or Patriots defense and Sharp or Kamara. I've got Kamara ahead of Charbonnet and probably the Patriots defense. Let's pull up week 12. Lions or Patriots. Lions play New York Giants. Yeah, actually, I like the Lions. Who do the Patriots have? Bengals? Yeah, give me the Lions. Chase, trade Jamison Williams for Ken Walker. I saw that one. That's a fair crossover. I've seen that one. And that seems fine. Like if you need a running back, I don't mind moving Jamison Williams for Ken Walker. I would see if you could get ETN or add something to Jamison Williams for that. But I don't mind that move. Luka Boo, do I watch any hockey? I can't watch the Blackhawks. They have their own channel that I don't get in Chicago. What is it called? CH something? Chicago Sports Network, CHSN. For the Bulls, Blackhawks, and I think the White Sox. I don't really care about the White Sox. But I would have to pay a bunch of extra money. Like it used to just be local. We had a local sports channel that I could watch it on. I could watch it on Stream East. True. I don't know. I don't want to set all that up on my TV. I think I could have gotten them through an antenna, but it's the same thing. Like I kind of just want to go to my TV and go to the regular channel. Luka Bohm, Canadian. You have to pay $325 a year to watch the Leafs play since I don't live in Ontario. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. I would watch the Blackhawks because they're looking good. Bedard coming around, I'm in on it, but I don't want to figure out all of this extra stuff. The Cubs have a channel too that I don't pay for, but I'll track their games on the. You can just track baseball way easier on the phone because every 30 seconds it updates with the outcomes of what happened. Like you can't really track that as easily with hockey. At least I can't because I don't know what I'm looking at. Scuba Steve, my thoughts on Algier is I'm tired of him poaching my sweet Bijan's touchdowns. True. I mean, I think he did get one last week. I mean, Bijan got some, but did Algier get one? Yeah, Algier did get one, but it's about half the time. No, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes. So a little bit over half the time. Does ETN's shoulder injury worry me at all? Should I start Emmanuel Wilson over him if Jacobs is out? If you're worried about the shoulder, you can. I'll limited Thursday, same as Tootin. I mean, Tootin also has a shoulder injury, Tootin has an ankle injury. ETN shoulder, Tootin ankle. Let's just wait and see. If it's a shoulder thing and they're thinking he can go with rest, like this is how it would look. So I'll wait until Saturday or Sunday. Okay, I missed Fresh Cut Nut. What's your thoughts? What your thought process on playing players each week in the fantasy playoffs? Do you base it off who is the best matchup or who is ranked the best? But I make ranks. Fresh Cut. So I rank them based on their matchup and their talent. So that's how I do it. And then I play them based off my ranks. Do I still hold on to Flacco? I mean, it doesn't hurt to hold him. If you're going to start him this week, I don't think it hurts to hold him or start him. You'll know if he's starting before Sunday. How do I feel about Devin Neal versus Atlanta with Kamara questionable and New Orleans coming off a bye, post-bye rookie bump? I mean, it's possible. It's definitely worth a roster spot on some team in a league, but I don't think that every team needs to roster him if he's available. Jeff Buckley fan, I have Chase. Should I pick up Yoshivas and drop Slayton? I have Godwin, Pearson, Watson. Like, I don't know that Yoshivas does or doesn't outscore Slayton. Is Slayton playing? He's limited Thursday. So we'll see what happens on Friday. If Slayton's playing, I think I might like him a tiny bit ahead of Yoshivas. You have Godwin, Pearson, Watson. So I don't know that you're starting either one of these guys, because I might just go Alec Pierce or Christian Watson ahead of them. Start Baltimore or the Raiders defense? I would start Baltimore over the Raiders. I don't know that I trust that the Raiders defense is good enough to get the takeaways we would be looking for. Mr. Lukabu plus DAZN for football is kind of pricey. Yeah, you probably have different... If you're in Canada, you probably have a different setup for watching NFL football. Dolg, Shaheed worth playing? I have Pearsall and Sean Tucker. Not sure who to play. I'd probably go... If there's no Bucky, I would end up with both of those guys ahead of Shaheed. Ho Baby. Is that a family name, Ho Baby? Would you trade Bijan, Sutton, and Gadsden for Saquon and Waddle? I think I want more on the Saquon and Waddle side. A little bit. Barely Bad. Hope you have a great weekend. Hey, same. You traded for Pollard to cover your bye weeks. And you have Spears as well. He's outscored him since I traded. Hope for this week's are not the same with HN out. Yeah. Yep. Wait, Jeff Buckley fan says, yeah, I have Sutton and Chase on my bench. My wide receiver core is gone. Oh, I mean, you have starters. I think Godwin's playing this week. Pearson, Watson can get you through 1 week. Lucas Rossi, what do? I had Laporta and I'm past the trade deadline. I think you got to pick someone up. I think you just got to pick someone up. I don't know who's available for you. Matt on TikTok, the number 2 TikTok liker. Thank you, Matt. I don't know why. TikTok liker. Matt, start Brissett or Burrow if he plays. If he's playing, I'm starting Joe Burrow over Jacoby Brissett. Dolg, thoughts on Josh Allen last night and going forward? Yeah, we could pull him up. We've gone over this. We did this at the start of the stream. A lot of the times, these top players can just beat can beat or score well in a hard defense. Kansas City is still a good defense. They're not elite. They're not the same thing as Houston, but he scored 28. Carolina has been all right on defense. He scored 23. Atlanta has a good defense. He only put up 15. Even in a bad matchup, I was expecting like 18 as a floor. 18, 19. Against the Jets, he had 11. But like Baltimore has a tough defense. In week 1, he put up 38. Tampa has a solid defense. He put up 42. So hey, we take our lumps. We're glad it's not in the playoffs. And he's going right back into our lineups. Barely Bad. How about that Bears game? The one last week? Good. They won. They played the Vikings. Oh, yeah, that was great. That's about where my brain is at right now in the season, Barely Bad. I like my Bears. I'm watching it every week, but I am not remembering everything. Lou Codd, would I trade away Puka, Tet, Jake Ferguson, and Alec Pierce for Jamar Chase, Trey McBride, and Jalen Waddle? I mean, I like Puka a little bit more than Jamar, so we'll keep that in mind. But then let's just cross him out and say Tet, Ferguson, and Pierce for Waddle and McBride. I think it's close enough. But at the same time, like, I don't know that you need to do it. If you're doing a move where you're sending 4, is this 4 for 3? Yeah, 4 for 3. I don't want to send the best player away. So I guess you're getting Chase and McBride. So you get 2 good players and that starts to even it out. And 3 of them, actually you probably get 3 players better. Like, it's okay. But it's not one that I'm like, oh yeah, you have to do this. Hit heads, would I trade Jay Williams? Which Jay? I thought we might get to this point. Hit heads, which Jay Williams? Which one? You might be thinking, who's the other one? But Javonte, there you go. Thank you. Would I trade Javonte Williams, not Jameson Williams? Javonte Williams, Zay Flowers, Cortland Sutton to receive Amon-Ra. Yeah, there's teams where I would do that. If I'm good on quarterback, or if I'm good on running back, I'm definitely doing that. Sending Zay Flowers and Sutton, and then I'm using other running backs. Yeah. Got goats that just keep racking up from story time. They haven't fully come through yet, but thank you very much. The number just keeps climbing on this feed. 90, 91, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97. Thank you. Thank you for the 97. Manny, trade Javonte and Cook for Bijan and Breece. I have Achane too. Like James Cook? I don't know that I am. Trading James Cook and Javonte for Bijan and Breece. James Cook and Javonte for Bijan and Breece, and you have Achane. I mean, I guess if we're going Javonte and Cook, and then we're saying that we're going to start Achane and Bijan, and then Breece is like a third reserve or a flex option, sure. Sure. Lucas, what do? I had Laporta and I'm past the trade deadline. You got to pick one up, bud. Spamming. Maybe it's too much spamming to not hear me answer it. Dylan Rickman, start 2. Wandale Robinson, Devonta Smith, Michael Wilson. I'm not putting Michael Wilson over those guys. I couldn't do it. It could end up being wrong again, but I can't do it. Ooh, is that... I don't know if I've seen a Damon Schmidt, but we'll get right to you, Damon. Antoversa, how's it going? It's going great. It's going great. How are you guys doing? You need 2 wide receivers, Olave, AJ Brown, Odunze, or DK. I think I've got Olave ahead of Odunze, and I probably have AJ Brown ahead of DK. So I'm going Olave and AJ Brown there. Dole, if Bucky plays, do you think Tucker is a start, or would Pearsall be a better start? I think I would end up going Pearsall. Like, it could be Sean Tucker. I don't know what's going on with the Bucs right now. Like, why are there rumors? Like, it's not a news report. It's just a rumor that Bucky might be out for a non-football thing. I don't know what that is. Or that he could be limited when he comes back. So I might end up with Sean Tucker in a lineup, or I could understand it, but I would go Pearsall ahead of him. Damon, I've got Puka for Trey McBride and RJ Harvey. Is that good? I like it. Especially if you have another running back or another tight end. Fiery Tudor, trade Achane and Rome for Derrick Henry and Ibuka. I need to win now. Yeah, this feels like I prefer Achane and Rome in any given week, but I understand you need it right this week. It doesn't seem that low of a drop down. Like Rome to Ibuka, probably Ibuka ahead comfortably, but is it enough to make up for Achane to Henry? I can understand if you do it in the win now week. Nico also gave you 8.5. Woof. T-Roan with Dart out. I had Flacco as a backup. Burrow's questionable. I don't want to wait on Flacco. Would I pick up Lawrence versus the Cardinals, Love versus the Vikings, Shuck versus the Falcons with Olave? I guess Love versus the Vikings. Storytime, is Love worth dropping for Sam Darnold, Shuck, or Lawrence? I don't know that we need to roster Jordan Love. I'm not sure of your other quarterbacks, and I don't think you're in a 2 QB. So I don't know that we need to be rostering him. He's kind of one of those look at who's available on waivers and just call it an extended bench. Like here's my example. Let me find this one's a 2 quarterback league, so it won't work. I got to switch to this one. Add players. Let's see what quarterbacks are available. Like McCarthy, Lawrence, Tua. These are all guys that in certain weeks I could just pick up and start, so I would consider it an extended bench, and I would throw Jordan Love right into that mix. Some leagues will have Jordan Love out here, like Jameis Winston, you could pick up and start now. As long as the extended bench looks fine, I don't know that you need to be rostering these guys that are only slightly better for a maybe 1 week start. I would rather roster someone like Rashad White or Michael Wilson or Trey Benson, who I should probably pick up right now in this league. Yeah. I'm starting K-Dot, and I'm not going to use Bam Knight. Oh, I thought I had missed a guy. Oh, and I can't even move him. Whoops. I was surprised that he was out there. Yeah, so, I mean, check your league as well. You might find a player that, like, oh, I should just pick up that guy instead, like I just did. I wasn't expecting to. I don't think that's the first time I've ever made a move on the live stream, but check. Like, you probably don't need Jordan Love. See if there's a player like that who could go way up in value. Scuba watching the mastermind work. I thought I had just dropped. When I looked at this will be one of the last things I show on my own teams, because I assume people don't want to see it. I saw this here and I was like, oh no, I saw the gap and thought, did I just drop a starting player on accident because I was live? I'm not fully here as a human when I'm doing these live streams mentally. So where was that? Because that was a long spot about keeping Jordan Love, and I would say you probably don't need to. Flex Waddle or Warren? Which Warren? Juan? Tyler? Jalen? Nick? Trade offer from last night to give Irving, Mixon, Emmanuel Wilson to receive Debo, Jefferson, and Jordan Mason. Would I send Bucky Irving and trash for Debo and Justin Jefferson? Yeah, I would. T-Rone, would I trade Debo for Tyler Warren? Yeah. I think I just did a video on I think I did Tyler Warren today. I don't remember where. They're all starting to blur together. But I think I did, yeah, Tyler Warren here, and I'm pretty sure. So Tyler Warren trade values on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure Debo fits right in the mix of values for him. So if you need, yeah, your current tight end is Goddard. Like, I could, yeah, because you're probably not even using Debo, and you just put more points into your lineup. It's Johnny, Morning Jack with Dart out. Do I prefer Caleb over Love? Over Love, not Lub. I've got Caleb at 10 and Jordan Love at 16 against the Vikings defense. Nameless thinks Sutton is worth trading for. Franklin's kind of taken over that wide receiver 1 role. Let's track it. How bad has it gotten? Has he become an unusable player? Because there's times where, okay, 5, 9, 10, 10. This is a pretty long stretch of flex option, of just becoming a flex for you. Hoping for 16, even with a touchdown, he only got 10. This was against Houston with a very tough passing defense. But Vegas and Kansas City, you would have liked to have seen more. Is it worth trading for him? If he's going into your flex, yeah. James Cook for Saquon from Liam Adams. I think so. Souders says, hey, Jack here from TikTok. Is that a first-time chatter? No. You don't have... Twitch isn't showing you as the first-time chatter badge. Well, thank you for making the jump over from TikTok to Twitch. Start JMO or Chase Brown at flex this week. I think I'm Chase Brown. I know he's in a tough matchup, but he's getting a ton of targets, which I think can help. So the tough matchup would be Patriots not allowing very many points to fantasy running backs. So here the Bengals allow the most fantasy points to running backs. I would expect Patriots to be down at the bottom. I still would have Chase Brown ahead of JMO. You could shoot for the upside on JMO. I wouldn't call you crazy. Like, I have Chase Brown at 17 on running backs and JMO at 25, which would put them very close to each other. And I may just go with Chase Brown on receptions, especially if you're in a PPR league. Hit heads, anyone wanting Sutton, I'm warning you, between him and Ken Walker, it's hell. Yeah, which is why I gave the caveat, like, it's a flex play. There was a while where he was wide receiver 1, a top 12 guy, but with Troy Franklin coming in here and changing things up, I mean, he's still... Can I find Cortland Sutton? I thought that would be enough. Cortland Sutton. On the year, he's wide receiver 19. Last year was wide receiver 15. I don't think he finishes top 20 unless we see a change. We're now 4 weeks on this pattern. That would put him outside the top 20 going forward. He still has like 10 target games in his bag. I don't think he's gotten worse. So maybe we see Bo Nix bounce back and play better. Like I think getting in on Cortland as a flex and at that pricing is probably fine. We can even look at his ranking here. This is the database. We need to go to the calculator. Wide receiver 30 is how he's being ranked right now. So I think that's fine. Nameless Sutton would be my flex along with Pearsall, since Charbonnet and Parker Washington for him might be an overpay, but I need the roster space. Yeah, the roster space is why I recommend 2-for-1 trades so often, because you needed a roster spot. Most teams need a roster spot. So going 2-for-1 is just anytime you use a trade calculator, it's going to undervalue how good it is going 2-to-1. At least this one does. At least that one. What makes the most sense? If I point at the camera, does that look? Oh, I could. At least this one does. That's the way to do it. Just point down at what you would see. But on Twitch, it would be this one or that one. I think I'm on a delay on Twitch, so I can't tell. It's a long delay, at least on that video stream. Would I play Monungai over Sean Tucker? If they're kind of the same, and it would depend on who's starting. If there's no Bucky, I would put Sean Tucker in ahead. Juan Sanchez says Tyler Warren or Waddle. I think a slight edge to Waddle is what I've been seeing in the trades, but if you needed to make that swap, I could. Is Chris Godwin a must-add if on waivers? I think so. Especially if, yeah, he should be rostered in every league. If he's coming back and playing, maybe we just don't have any sort of gauge on what is going on with the Buccaneers. Chris Godwin fibula trending towards playing Sunday 6 minutes ago. Per head coach Todd Bowles. I almost said Bowles. If he plays, Godwin gets thrown into the fire against a tough Rams team, but his presence should open things up. I mean, is it the fire? He's a 29-year-old vet. I think he could do well. He could do well there. Okay, Souders, you were thinking the same thing about Jamar. Silent Crow. Silent Crow. Is Silent Crow first-time chatter? I don't think I've said that one. Yes, first-time chatter. Silent Crow, thank you for jumping over to Twitch. Just got offered Genty and Addison for DK, Kamara, and Sean Tucker. I think I'm taking Genty and Addison there. Same thing we've been saying. Getting that extra roster spot is also really valuable. J-Ray Stream, send Emmanuel Wilson and Jerry Jeudy for Sutton. Sure, yeah. He has Josh Jacobs. Yeah. If you're not starting him, send him away. Chris Martinez, I have an RB2 and a flex position to fill with these players. What do you think is best? Ken Walker, Monty Pearsall, Breece Hall? I think I'm going with the running backs. Liam Adams, bro, pointing at chat. True. Silent Crow with the prime sub. Thank you, Silent Crow. We're 1 out of 4 on the daily goal now. Thank you, Silent Crow, for the prime sub. Where was that? Where was I? Liam, same bro, pointing at chat. Yep, we're on different platforms, Liam. So on TikTok, chat is... No, on TikTok, the browser's here. On Twitch and YouTube, chat is down here. Because TikTok, it would be a vertical. Bucky Irving status just changed to out on Sleeper. So Sean Tucker will move up to probably 23. Like, would I put him ahead of Ken Walker, Emmanuel Wilson, Kamara? Probably ahead of Kamara at 24 now. But I might move that throughout the stream. That was just my immediate thought. Okay, Juan, do you think Hampton will be valuable when he comes back, or will he split carries with Vidal? I think he'll be. It may be that he splits carries with Vidal, but it would be like 80-20, 70-30, or he comes back 60-40 and then gets more work as the season goes on. Because I don't think Vidal even made the team out of camp. So maybe Vidal would have gotten called up with... I mean, they've had a lot of running backs get injured, but when Najee went out and then Hampton went out, it was Haskins and Vidal. I'm not sure if Vidal got called up when Najee went out. So maybe he's earned more of a starting role, but he wasn't on the roster to start the year. So it wouldn't surprise me if he took a very small role with Hampton back. Pierce Kelly, Flex Parker Washington, or Jalen Coker this week. I would go with Parker Washington. CKXPRS, Pitts or Goddard this week. I think I've got Goddard ahead. Lou Codd, trade Justin Jefferson, Jake Ferguson, and Alec Pierce for McBride and Jamar Chase. Yeah, I could do that. Something else just subbed. It says now I'm 50% of the way on the goal, but it does not say who did, and it didn't make a noise. So if that was you, let me know, and I'll say thank you. Otherwise, thank you to an unnamed one. Keller Holbrook, starting Yoshi. Do I start him over DK or Rome? I wouldn't. I don't think I could. Fiery Tutor, Judkins, or Hendo this week? I think Hendo. Who's Judkins got? The Raiders, right? Where do I have them? Why don't I see Judkins? I have Judkins at 13 and Henderson behind him. Oh, it's story time with the Prime. And I'm about to sneeze. Thank you, Storytime with the Prime. That puts us into a hype train as well. 2 of 4 on the daily gold. The streak did get reset. They subscribed for 2 months, currently on a 2-month streak. Not his streak got reset. The daily streak went down to 0. Juan, now that Bucky's out, would I start Sean Tucker or Tootin? I mean, I would start Sean Tucker ahead of Tootin if ETN is playing for sure. Bryce D saying Nico and Troy Franklin for Derrick Henry and Pearsall. Yeah, I mean, this is essentially just Nico for Derrick Henry and then 2 very similar receivers being swapped. Hithead sent a fest pop ×2. Thank you. Adrian with a bunch of roses. Juju coming in with the nod on the love you so much and the heart means. Thank you guys. Shane Kindred came here to be sad about Josh Allen and now Bucky too. I feel ya. Fun Dip saying, yo, what's a Fun Dip? Liam Adams, not the rest of the season, just playoffs. Good defense for the rest of the playoffs. I don't track it. Finn Ritchie, pick one rest of season, Marv, Waddle, or Pearsall. Jalen Waddle. I would take Waddle over Marv. The Bub. Ooh, Bub is after the eccentric phase. Do you prefer Pickens over any of these wide receivers? They're all in similar tiers with him. Higgins, Pittman, Devontae. I would probably put Devontae for sure ahead of those guys and then have Higgins and Pittman in a tier. Maybe Pickens and Higgins together, Pittman last and Devontae first, but all really close, like somewhere between 8 and 14 on the rankings. Shane Kendrick, can I kick Ayuk to the curb already or will I regret it? I want to IR Bucky and grab Tucker. I don't think you would regret that move. It could end up that Ayuk just pops up and is back, but I think you would have a reasonable shot to just re-pick him back up because there would be news that they've opened up his practice window or that he's even around camp practicing. Keenan. Sorry, something's going on with Keenan. Something's going on with YouTube where all the chats are switched to @, like your actual tag name instead of the presented name. So Keenan normally has like first name space last name, but now it's just shown as an @, and I don't know what's going on because it's happening on actual YouTube as well and not just the chat app I use. So we'll see. Keenan, how about that Texans defense? Do you start them confidently rest of season no matter who they play? I think so. When you're doing that, you're hoping that you're getting the sacks to stack up the price. It's Johnny with the 10-bit cheer. Thank you, Johnny. So I think we can go with Texans most of the time because they can get, unless a team has a phenomenal offensive line, we can expect a fair amount of sacks. Liam, what should we expect from Omarion coming back PPR-wise? Teams do things differently. So we don't know. Omarion Hampton's practice window could open after the bye week. He hasn't practiced with the team. What was the exact injury on him as well? An ankle injury. So it's not, you could also worry with someone like this with an ankle injury about their conditioning. Not able to run and cut as much, maybe compared to someone working with an arm injury or where they're just worried about taking a hit and they could be up to speed on their conditioning. But that is all just me talking out my butt. We'll just get a gauge when he comes back. I am just kind of making that up based on, well, it's a leg injury and you run, and if he's not conditioned, that could be something, but that is all nonsense from me. We don't know. We don't particularly know. It wouldn't surprise me if he was in a little bit of a split that made Vidal look like he's holding more value. Steve with the gifted subs. Steve up to 21. So I was wrapping up the thought on Hampton, but I did cut off the last couple words. But I think we've hit the goal. We've hit the daily goal. Thank you, Steve, with the choo-choo. The train is rolling. Let's update the text to put us back on the streak. That should now show up on Twitch. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Steve. Looks like we got subs to Super Teasy, The Bub, Adrian Gaways, Lone Souls. Let's make sure we don't fall behind on any of these. Keenan, any updates for ETN? I think I read your name and then missed your question. I'm sorry. No. I almost just typed Keenan into the chat. Not really any updates, just shoulder issue, limited practice. But some of that is, like, why risk hitting him if he has a shoulder issue and he could be ready to play? We'll see what happens on Friday and then check in on Sunday. There's not that much. There has not been an update yet, and we're also unsure of Bashal Tutin's role. Any updates on Josh Jacobs? I don't think so. Feeling pretty good practicing again on Friday. So we'll check and see what he had a knee contusion. If he's practicing, we'll get a more look at the practice report this afternoon. But if he's like full practice, we're probably fine. If he's out there taking, I don't know that teams are doing that much contact that late in the season anyway. I expect Josh Jacobs is probably playing. Let's make sure we don't miss any. We covered ETN. We covered the Bub with the sub. Oh, did that come from? I think that came from. Yeah, that came from the Steve train. Should I trade Brock Bowers because of his hard fixtures? Ooh, fixtures. Is that Bub? Are you in England? Or do other European countries call it fixtures as well? That is yeah, I've never heard anyone in America call it fixtures. Isn't that matches? There's hard matchups. But enough of just different language differences. Should you trade him because of a hard matchups coming up? No, you just watch a lot of soccer. Okay. You can always be shopping your guys. It's going to depend on, like, what are the offers you're getting. If you have a feeling about it and the offer makes sense, sure. I'm not going out of my way to do anything there. Not really any more than I would with any player. Like, we just saw James Cook in a tough matchup look fine. The good players are difference makers against the defense. It did not work for Josh Allen, but Shakir had a fine day. James Cook had a fine day. I wouldn't put Shakir in that tier of, like, James Cook is a really good running back. Brock Bowers is a really good tight end. They can beat really good defenses. Nasser, any updates on Josh Jacobs? We covered that one. Book of Westbrook, I finally got to. You have 2 minutes in. Move from TikTok. Should I start Sean Tucker or Aaron Jones? That's where I have the breakdown. I have Aaron Jones still ahead, and that could end up being wrong. I might, over the course of the day, move him higher and higher up. Sean Tucker, he's also playing the Rams defense. So, like, we're excited that he's moving into a bigger role. But if we're looking at teams that don't allow points to fantasy running backs, it's the Rams. They allow, they're one of the toughest rushing defenses. Or do I have that wrong? Let me double check that I don't have that wrong. No, Bucks at Rams, Sunday night. Zach Smith, if we need to win now, should we move Dart? Looking at possibly pairing Dart and Saquon in a trade? Yeah, I think that's fine. Scuba Steve reminds you, if you got a sub, be sure to take advantage of the Discord roster feedback. That is true. We'll move to a minute of selling because people did just get subs. In our fantasy football Discord, if you have connected your Twitch account to your Discord account and you are subbed on Twitch, so on desktop, here's how it looks. Here's my name. Here's where you would have your name, and then it says user settings. You click on that, and then it would open up here, and you go to connections, and then up here it will show Twitch. Mine does not show a Twitch logo because I've already connected it. If you have that connected, the server will automatically detect if you are subbed or not, and then your name will change. The color of your name will change. It'll go from white to this glowing red and blue, and you'll gain access to posts in the roster help and screenshots channel, where you can do things like just post a picture of your team and say, tell me what do I do. So that is for the people who were just gifted subs on top of anybody who were to sub with Prime or sub with not Prime on Twitch. Hype chest on the way. So we get unlockable emotes. I don't know. We did it. Thanks for all the support. 7 out of 4. Oh, I didn't get to pick the message. Yes, we've hit the daily goal for today. Thank you to Scuba Steve. Thank you to the others who are Silent Crow. Story time for the subs. It's Grayson, LOL, first time chatter on Twitch, and then we'll jump back into the proper order. Just traded London, Rice, Judkins, and Ferg. So we traded a lot. London, Rice, Judkins, and Ferg for Jonathan Taylor and Jamar Chase. Yeah. Like, would I send Judkins and Rice for Jonathan Taylor and Ferg and London for Jamar? I think this is okay. I think as long as you have a little bit of extra depth, like, we're looking all right. Let's make sure we don't miss too many. Tara started Nico this week instead of Kyron. Oh, no. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry, boss. The 4-teamer, maybe you'll get some other people with some dud weeks. E-base with Jacobs out and Vidal on bye. Do I start Corp? Is Jacobs out? Josh Jacobs feeling pretty good again practicing on Friday. Is Jacobs out, E-base? We got the alert that Bucky Irving was out. C Breezy, hope you're having a great day. If he ends up playing, should I start Burrow over Stafford? I mean, I think Stafford's good enough that you can wait and see. Assuming that he's out, nothing official yet. We were getting close there. Getting close there. Let's see, I think I missed Joe Blacko. Tough matchup, to be fair. In PPR, Pittman or Brees? I would go Pittman. And can we talk about the Bills O-line? It was such a bad performance. I mean, okay, I think that's what Joe Blacko is responding to. It is a tough matchup. And Joe Blacko on YouTube, we did confirm it. There was also a Joe Flacco the day before. I think you were here on Tuesday. There was a Joe Flacco on Monday. And it did confuse me. It did confuse me. Keenan, who would you target if you were wanting to trade away Bowers? Here's how I build my trades. Keenan on YouTube. We've got the My Ultimate Trade Tips. I'm probably just going to rename that. I mean, we're getting to the trade deadline. I should have renamed to this to how I build my fantasy trades. But this is how I do it. Typically looking for a 2-for-1. But it would be the same concept here. Joe Blacko says, LOL, my doppelganger. Hey, he knew a lot about Arc Raiders. And I think I'll be doing Arc Raiders again tonight. Stream, and then again tomorrow. Corey Han, thoughts on London and Rome for Jefferson and Keenan Allen? I think we got to get more than just Keenan Allen there, Corey Han. Like, we've seen multiple people do London for Justin Jefferson straight up. So if we're not getting that, because we have to then go from Rome to Keenan Allen, I think that's breaking it. All right, Steve, is that the new emote? I think we get emotes when the hype trains go through. And then we also have, on Twitch, I don't know that anyone has done it, emote pyramids. I almost said periods. Emote pyramids should trigger something. We did that on Stream Elements, and no one's ever done it because it's just questions. But if someone does one emote and then someone does the same one twice, then 3, then 2, then 1, it makes a pyramid in line. If Jacobs is ruled out, English is hard. Corum, Singletary, or Tootin if Jacobs is ruled out and you don't have Emmanuel Wilson. Let's see, we got a lot of messages from you. I'm not sure everyone that you have. I mean, I guess Singletary, because we think he's getting 50%. Dano, 271, trade Genty or Rome. Dano, there's a pinned video on TikTok now. I've taken it and pinned it of how I determine who to trade. It's a 1-minute video, but the short 1-sentence version is trade the one that people will take from you. A lot of people, trade Genty for Rome. Okay, thank you, Dano. Yeah. I think the value there seems fine to swap. Like, who has the higher ceiling? We don't. It could be either one. It could be both. That feels like it's going to end up being a win-lose trade. Like, we don't know who's going to win. If you need a wide receiver, I think Rome is a good option. You might be able to get more for Genty as well. We do have on YouTube Ashton Genty trade values where we've just gone over multiple different, more than we would normally do in one of the TikTok videos. Trades involving Ashton Genty from 2 days ago. So the values would be the same. Blake Rule saying, what's up, Jack? What's up, Blake? Robo's cop with a, goal. That's cool. Emote. Fiery Tutor, my HN in Rome for Henry and Ibuka got rejected. Hey, the price is the price in the league you're in. Maybe that guy just wants you to lose. Maybe he doesn't like you. Maybe he just really likes Derrick Henry. I like Henry. Maybe he's still worried about Achane. So one of the things I said in the offseason a lot was players are injury prone until they're not. And a lot of people were worried about Achane because of Tua's health. And now they aren't. He's still one hit away from being concussed. But now that we haven't seen it, people just start to forget. So maybe that guy hasn't. Maybe he still feels like Tua is one hit away. He still is. It just hasn't happened. DJ Flo, how are we feeling about Sean Tucker and Tyrone Tracy this week? I've got Sean Tucker. So we've been live since we were live when the Bucky Irving player status updated to out. And I moved Sean Tucker up to 23. And I have Emmanuel Wilson at 22, assuming no Josh Jacobs. But that's looking like it's trending towards Jacobs playing. So I've got Sean Tucker right around Ken Walker, Aaron Jones, Genty. Like, I don't know what the split is with Rachaad White, and they're playing the Rams. That's one of the toughest running back matchups. And it would be a tough running back matchup in the way that Sean Tucker plays as well, like running between the tackles, where Rachaad White would be a bit more of the pass-catching option. So they're both flex options. I have Tracy at 32 and Singletary at 34 because it's an even split there. I don't know who is the better one. Prince Morey dropped dart for Burrow. My other quarterback is Baker. Yeah, I mean, you could also see about, I guess with Dart out, it's harder to trade him. So yeah, I think you could drop Dart. Nameless think Pierce for Tyler Warren would be fair. Alec Pierce? No, it might go through, and I would prefer Tyler Warren. Story time. Drop Pitts for Schultz, Fannin, or Henry Johnson. I think I have Theo Johnson at 10, Pitts at 14, Fannin at 13, but it's all just a blob. Like, does Kirk Cousins make Pitts better, or does he make him worse? That one I definitely don't know. Fiery Tutor, he didn't want HN because of his bye week, but he's in third place with like a 3-win lead on top of fourth. Hey, we don't get to pick what other people think, which is a bummer. Like, if I got to pick what other people thought, that would be great. I'd have way more followers. I'd have way more subs because I would pick that everyone should think subbing was a good idea. Salute, Salapu, top of the morning. We're cruising on the morning. It's 12:03 in the Lord's time. Story time offered London, Jacobs, and Sutton for Amon-Ra and Judkins. Got denied. Is that fair? I mean, trades can be fair and get denied. I get fair trades all the time that I don't want to do it. We don't have to make the swap just because it's fair. You got offered London, Jacobs, and Sutton for Amon-Ra and Judkins. I think I just want Amon-Ra. Do I? I'm having a hard time picking. Or swap Jacobs for Gibbs or Cook or London for Ibuka. We're doing a lot of swaps. Just trying to get to, ask the other guy. If he already denied it, just ask him like, hey, which player broke this deal for you? Because he'll know that part. Prince Maury, see what you can get. Both wide receivers are in tough situations. Jose saying, what's up, bro? Welcome in, Jose. Scuba Street, if a trade won't process until the next week, would you wait to send it until after the player you'd be acquiring has played to make sure they don't get hurt? Typically, every player can get hurt, so it kind of is just the same thing could also happen. A player that you are sending away could get hurt in the trade. It's kind of even on both ends, but if it's not going to process, I'll typically just wait and roll with what I got. But I'm also the type of person that would say, well, one, if I'm the commish of a league, I make the trades process immediately. But I'm also the type of the person that would say, like, hey, we agreed on this. Do you want to revisit it once it's about to actually process? Robo's Cop, Pearsall, Mooney, or Ferguson at flex. Pearsall, Mooney, or Ferguson at flex, like the tight end, Ferguson? I think I would take the tight end, Ferguson. Salapoo, quick question, some thoughts. First place, I want to secure my team for the playoffs. Is this a trade that's coming through? I really want to bench Genty this week against the Browns. Should I start Stevenson or Godwin for him this week at the flex, or keep Genty in full PPR? I might keep Genty over those guys. Like, I think it would be bold to go with Godwin. But yeah, could be. Nameless, just trying to see Tyler Warren's value. You want to upgrade the tight end like you suggested? We did Tyler Warren today. Right here on YouTube. Tyler Warren and more fantasy trade values. So we covered a bunch of trades on Tyler Warren. That's on the tubes. It's a whole tube just for you. Salapoo, this is the trade. Kyron, Pittman, and London with a thumbs up. And Jamar Chase and Josh Jacobs. Would I send Kyron, Pittman, and London for Chase and Josh Jacobs? I think I can, yeah. Securing your team for the playoffs, I think, is the follow-up, because you wouldn't have Jamar Chase this week. And we're hoping that Josh Jacobs stays healthy. Looks like we got Clifford and Strictly Wailua on Twitch with the follows. Thank you for the follows. Nameless says to check it out later today. We made it just for you. I sat down and said, this one's for the one without a name. Clifford, Brissett or Williams for quarterback this week? I'm not going to Brissett if I don't have to. I like Caleb Williams a little bit more. I don't really find myself chasing a lot of situations where the quarterback puts themselves in a horrible spot and then throws their way to fantasy success. So we'll bring this up. I feel like we've been doing this a lot of times on the live streams. Arizona, here's week 10. They played Seattle. At the end of the first quarter of this game, Arizona was losing 21-0 because Brissett fumbled multiple times and they were returned for touchdowns. Like, Jacoby Brissett he's not that good. It's not surprising that they're losing. It's not surprising that it's his fault. Week 11, they also lost by around 20 points. Like, teams don't often lose by 20 points a ton. So I don't want to chase it. I try to stick with good players. I made a video on TikTok. Really, the only time that I'm picking up Brissett and using him is if my team is desperate. And I'm saying I can trade away. If I had Josh Allen and was losing, I could get great value for Allen and then just ride with Brissett and hope that this bad player keeps scoring fantasy points. I would, because I need like a lucky streak to make it into the playoffs. If I'm 4-7 and I got to win out, I could do something like that and say, like, I guess I'll attach my card to him here. But if I have a decent record, I'm going to stick with what seems like the smarter play. It might be wrong, but it seems smarter on paper. Like, Jacoby Brissett's just not that good. Where were we? Let's put week 12 on the map. Adam Bama got offered Bijan or Achane and Rome for JSN and Charbonnet. I could send JSN for Achane and Rome. Do you want to? You don't have to. I don't think it's enough where you have to do it. Like, I don't know why you have to send Charbonnet away in that either. Like I would say it probably doesn't make Charbonnet in that trade doesn't make a ton of difference with how big the other players are. So you don't have to include Charbonnet, and you don't have to do it. Strictly Whale. Kamara, Montgomery, or White start 2. I would go Kamara and Montgomery. Clifford, I have Dart, but he's out, and Burrow on IR. Gotta pick someone up then. Shoot. I think you gotta grab someone. I don't know who's available, but there's going to be someone who can put up a decent fantasy day for you. Henry and Higgins for Puka. Yeah, ship it. Pleasant wind. Let's just ship that one and get Puka. Juan, I did Warren and Debo for Devontae Adams. I overpaid a little bit, but you needed a top 10 receiver. I don't think it's insane. Fantasy top 10 is what he said. Weird Champ on Twitch. Addison, Worthy, or Godwin? I think I have Addison ranked the highest. Jayden, I think it's Jayden. Jayden hasn't let me know. Is it Jayden or JXYDXN? That's usually like the X is replacing vowels. I've got Achan, Bijan, and Henry. Is it worth trading one of them to upgrade my receivers of Jettas and AJ? Like, yeah, it's always worth. The number one thing here, Jayden, is it's always worth shopping your players. You don't have to accept any trades, but see if someone would give you a lot more than the market thinks those players are worth. You have Achan and Bijan. Could you get Gibbs and maybe even a little more for Achan? Then yeah, you definitely do it. So see, some people really like Achan more than Gibbs. If you could do, I mean, maybe Achan to like Puka. Someone might do that. So see, I don't know if that's available to you. Adam Bam chat. What do y'all think? The JSN and Charbonnet. So he's on YouTube asking the chat. Like, let him know, YouTube chat. We haven't done a lot of inter-chat question answering, but I'm definitely open to it. I like it. And also, Adam Bama, we've got our Discord where you can post your trade and people will respond to it. Especially if you jump up on there and are responding to other people's trades. We have our trade channel. Everyone can post in the trade channel and help each other out there. If you're watching on YouTube, you can type !Discord to get the link as well. Same thing on Twitch. On TikTok, it's on the screen behind the chat area. It'll say Discord, tinyurl.com/boomdiscord. And that you put that in your browser and it should invite you. Scuba Steve, any reason to be optimistic about Drake for week 13 since he hasn't been declared out yet for this week? Or am I willing too much optimism into the situation? I typically say pessimistic. And unless the team says they expect a player back in a certain week, I assume that there's always the chance that they'll miss. So we can look for a player blurb on Drake London. Hopeful to return in week 3, which is just the coach saying he's hopeful. So that is a little bit. Hopeful is a little bit optimistic, but it kind of also depends on the coach. Like the Jets were really hopeful with Garrett Wilson, and I think everyone knew he was missing multiple weeks when he hyperextended his knee. Adam Bama, should I ask for Tet instead of Rome? I wouldn't even know which one is higher. I think I still like Rome higher. Gun Show. Or we're at Santi, then Gun Show. Santi, which two should I start? Pittman, Worthy, BTJ, Mooney. I think I'm Pittman and BTJ. Gun Show, I have Judkins, Breece Hall, and Kamara all for my RB2. Should I try to trade any two of them to upgrade? Absolutely. Yeah. If you're choosing between 3 guys for one spot, you make packages, Gun Show. I've got the video here on YouTube. It's called My Ultimate Trade Tips. Just take Judkins and pair them with all of your starters. Take Breece Hall and pair them with all of your starters. Kamara and pair them with all of your starters, and just do this. This is how I build 2-for-1 trades. You will almost always come out ahead if you do a 2-for-1 trade doing this. You'll probably have to send out about 30 of them and hope that you get one. But if you sit down and you take the 20 to 30 minutes to do it, you'll come out ahead with higher odds of winning the playoffs or winning the championship. And now we're at the point where we're saying we're just trading a little bit of man hours for a higher percentage chance to win the championship, which is just real cash money. It's Johnny. Ooh, about you have the Bears defense. Would I suggest a switch with the Saints, Green Bay, or Atlanta for this week? I don't track a lot of defenses. I don't really track defenses. What do I think of Atlanta? I know Atlanta has a solid defense as a team. It does get harder to be a good defense if your offense stinks, which could happen. What are the other options that you have? The Saints, Green Bay. Green Bay playing minute. I mean, I might just go with Green Bay. A very good defense, and I don't know that we're going to see J.J. McCarthy's accuracy issues get fixed. Like, he turns the ball over. He'll throw a bad ball that's easy to pick, so I think I'm going with the Packers there. Sam Laporta's out for the season. Is Brock Wright a start over Harold Fannin? No. Blake, I mean, he's been out for a while. Like, we could pull up Brock Wright's numbers. Brock Wright is going to be the same thing as, like, 7 targets, 2 catches, 3 points, 0 points, 2 points. I don't know exactly which week Laporta left, but no. Laporta's been out for a while. There's not really a reason to pick up Brock Wright. Same thing has been true with Luke Musgrave. There's no Tucker Kraft. Are we excited for 1 point? Sometimes targets just go away is part of it. Like, a team can just score fewer points. So if there's no Sam Laporta, the Lions are just worse. Where are we? Clifford, Higgins, Pickens, Tet. I need 2 to start the week. Who am I taking? I think I'm going Higgins and Pickens. I really like Tet. If this is too many options for you, like, do a trade as well. Maybe take Tet and pair them with Higgins, Tet and Pickens, and get a better option. Tet and any other person in your starting lineup and get a better option. Lysander, trade away London for Rome and Judkins. You can also compare it to, we did Drake London trade values on YouTube. I don't know that it's enough for me. It could end up working out that Judkins and Rome are excellent down the stretch, but there's definite risks with them. So take a look at, we've got the video on YouTube, Drake London and more fantasy football trade values. We did that one yesterday, just looking at real trades that are happening right now for Drake London. Because I think you could get more. Elite BF Gamer Battlefield? It's probably not big fart. I need to grab a QB, drop 1, Worthy, Quentin Johnson, Vidal, or Nix. I mean, if you're going extended bench, like, Nix is someone you could drop. Vidal, we don't know if he'll lose his value. He could be someone that you could maybe pick up right after this week as well. Same thing with Quentin Johnson on bye. Is anyone going to pick up Johnson to hold him through the bye? I don't know. So it would be between those 3. Like, does the Hampton order just pick up Vidal? We probably have 1 to 2 more weeks of him holding value. Those are the things I would think about. Eric Villalobos, Zay Flowers and Bucky for Pickens and ETN. Yeah. That doesn't seem too bad. You might be able to still get more for Bucky, and he might not actually be out. Like, everything that we're hearing from him is just rumors. If you want to be done with those rumors and start getting production again, Bucky Irving out for week 12, Bucks targeting a return to week 3. Let's see, Todd Bowles says Bucky Irving has been ruled out. But this does not say this. I mean, this says the good news is that the Bucks are targeting a return for Irving in week 13 against the Cardinals. I don't know who said that or what the quotes behind that is or what the source. So if you wanted to just get out on Bucky, I don't think that's insane. Santi, which 2 should I start? Mooney, Worthy, Pittman. I would start Pittman and Worthy. Seth, trade Swift for Kittle. You have Ferguson. Is the upgrade at tight end worth it? I wouldn't. I mean, possibly, but I would try to have some sort of trade where you're sending Ferguson away. That works out better for you, or add Ferguson into that deal and get another guy. Gun Show says, love your content, man. Thank you, Gun Show. Eric, we covered this. You typed it 1 minute later. Eric, be cool. Be cool, Eric. Santi, who would I take, White or Tucker? I'd probably Tucker. Lysander, trade away London for Roman Judkins. Lysander, we covered this. Sea Dog 2 Swifty. Wandale Robinson or Xavier Worthy? I think Wandale. Gonza. If I need to win this week for playoffs, should I trade Jacobs for Saquon straight up? Yeah. I don't hate that. Zach, half PPR redraft mean Genty and Woody for Barkley. Yep. Yeah, I would take Barkley. Danny Kent, Sutton, Aaron Jones, and Schultz. Sutton, Aaron Jones, and Schultz for Diggs and Tyler Warren. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with the 2 side, the Diggs and Tyler Warren. If I need... Oh, Gonza, we are not that far behind, Gonza. We are 3 minutes behind on chat. Clifford, I'm 9-2 right now, and I'm too afraid to make a trade. Why? The whole game's trading. Maybe it isn't for you. G-Dog, how do I use a Twitch sub from Amazon Prime? That one I don't know. It does not show that you have Prime Gaming enabled, G-Dog. If you look in the Twitch chat at Clifford, you should see that blue crown. The crown means that you have Prime Gaming available. So that one would just be like Google. I mean, we could solve this together. How to use Twitch Prime. Prime member perks on Twitch? I don't know. Maybe this does it. Mine just says your Prime membership is connected. So I bet if you searched Prime member perks on Twitch, it would then let you connect your Prime account. And then it would go from there. Andy Parnell, who should I try to trade for wide receiver wise? I have Diggs, Harvey Benson, need someone who doesn't have a week 14 bye. Andy Parnell, we have a video for that because we get that question quite a bit. So we have this video. It's under My Ultimate Trade Tips on YouTube. I'm looking, you're on YouTube. So on the main channel page, which you're already, should be findable. It's My Ultimate Trade Tips as the playlist. And it's right here, Steal This Trade Tip. It's exactly that. You have packages you want to create of 2 players. And this is how I determine which one player to target. And I would recommend taking multiple different groups of 2 and then building like 8 or 9 trades from each of them. Scuba Steve says, I think it works on desktop, but I've had issues connecting it on the Twitch app. I very rarely use the Twitch app for anything. I didn't watch a lot of Twitch before starting streaming here. Ing Hitmer, Hunter Henry or Michael Wilson at the flex? I guess Michael Wilson. Catan, would I trade Olave and Shuck for Jordan Love, Ferguson, and Cortland Sutton? What type of league is this? Is this a 2 quarterback league where we're sending Shuck for Love? There would have to be a 2 quarterback league, right, Catan? David on TikTok, Alec Pierce, Devonta Smith, or Jamison Williams, pick 2. I think I'm Smith and Williams. Vince says great content, thank you. Brissett or Young, like Bryce Young. I guess I could go Brissett over Bryce Young. I do not really like Jacoby Brissett as a fantasy option, but I would put him over Young. Okay, Catan says it's a 1 quarterback league, but he has no quarterback. So you're sending Olave and Shuck. No, you're sending Jordan Love, Ferguson, and Cortland Sutton. Like Ferguson and Sutton for Olave? I guess. Ferguson and Sutton for Olave. If you don't have a quarterback, sure. Or if you don't need Ferguson at a tight end, like, yeah, Olave's a little bit better. It doesn't seem like a slam trade. It's a 1 quarterback league, but he has no quarterback, and then I don't see any other. Like, I don't know why he would take it. I'm in a 12-team league. I just grabbed Purdy off of waivers. I had been using Dart. Purdy then became available. Otherwise, I would go Jameis Winston. I would be fine streaming Jameis Winston. So, should he do it? No. Does that mean he would? He won't do it? No, he could still do that. Dat Tommy Boy, Darnold, Williams, Lawrence, or Young. I need a quarterback just for this week. Caleb Williams? I would probably go Caleb Williams. I have Caleb Williams at 10, Darnold at 14. Both decent options. Dice, Sam Darnold or Trevor Lawrence. I would go Darnold. Andy Parnell is Diggs and Kyron for Ibuka and overpay. Yeah, I think so. I think you should be able to get more on top of that. Blank Politics, trade away Tyler Warren and Tet McMillan for McBride. And you have Pickens, Pittman, and Addison. I think you can. Tyler Warren and Tet McMillan. I mean, you could probably get that for Addison, Tyler Warren and Addison for McBride, but Tet there, I don't hate it. Corndoggy LOL. Is that a family name, Corndoggy? Just saying, hey. Christian Key on TikTok. Ibuka for Jayden Daniels, Marv, and Odunze. It could be. Like, is this a desperate team? Sending away Ibuka, hoping that Marv is back in a week and that Odunze has a big bounce back. And like, you're hoping that Marv and Odunze are the better side. But if I have a good team, I'm not really looking to do that. I would just stick with Ibuka and ride with that rather than taking on the downside. Andy, would you trade Tet, Woody, Burrow for Rasheed, Jalen Warren, and BTJ? Who, if you have another quarterback and you're getting value here, like Tet, Woody for Rasheed, I would really like that. And then Burrow for Jalen Warren and BTJ. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And you have Lamar. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all right. Jose at tight end, who do I start? Pitts, Juwan Johnson, or Hunter Henry? I have Hunter Henry at 8 as the highest ranked one because he's playing the Bengals. But once we're past Goddard, Travis Kelce, it's all just a blob. Hunter Henry, K-Dot, and Theo Johnson, Juwan Johnson, Mark Andrews, Harold Fannin, Kyle Pitts, Colson Loveland, David Njoku. They're all just a blob. Like, one of them will get a touchdown and they'll be the right one, but no one can guess who it is. There's not really a great rhyme or reason for ranking tight ends. Gun Show, is Kyron an upgrade over Breece Hall and Judkins for your RB2? If so, by how much? Is it worth going after him? I mean, yeah, I would much rather have Kyron over those guys. Like, a lot of people, like Kyron, ETN, people are just worried about the backup taking over too much and not looking at the fantasy numbers. He's running back 8 on the year. Breece Hall is probably like 15, 16. The other player you mentioned, Kyron, is just doing way better than them. So if you can look at your lineup with Kyron in it and not like pee your pants scared that Blake Corum exists, yeah, I think it's an upgrade. It's just kind of I don't think Corum gets some work, but we're getting here 31, 16. A bad week is 8, 17, 22, 16. He regularly scores touchdowns. I think I'm fine with Kyron. Avery Anderson says, happy Friday. Thank you for the stream. Hey, thank you for being here. The streams only happen if anyone is here. So thank you for being here. Avery had the question, got asked, Sutton, Judy, and Schultz, you'd give up Diggs or Pittman Jr.? I don't want to give up Diggs or Pittman Jr. for those guys. Right now, I'm trying to take all my Suttons, my Judys, my Schultzes. If I'm not keeping Sutton or Judy as like a stash to see if they become a weekly starter, I'm piling them all up, putting a little bow on that turd and sending it to everyone in my league. Because there might be people who like to eat turds in your league. They might exist. Just yum, 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 poop, 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 and then you get Diggs or Pittman. I would like that. So I don't want to be the one. I don't want to be the one munching turds, Avery. We covered Eddie Benitez. That's a cool name. I got Flacco. If Burrow returns, do I go Trevor Lawrence or Tyler Shuck? Bo Nix is on bye. Probably Trevor Lawrence. Angela Fountain with the follow. I think it was the feces chat that got that follow. And that one, Jeremy Thorson, really was loving the imagery. Thank you for the follow, Jeremy. Juan Sanchez, 2 flex spots, 4 candidates. Jameson Williams, Michael Wilson, Judkins, and Jalen Warren. I'm going Jalen Warren and Judkins. And then Jameson Williams is a very close third. So if you don't trust Judkins, you want Williams, you go for it. I don't want to trust Michael Wilson. Devin S12, Hendo, Ladd, and Herbert for Allen, Jefferson, and Pearsall. Henderson, Ladd McConkey, Herbert for Allen, Jefferson, Pearsall. I think I'm taking Allen, Jefferson, and Pearsall. Catan 2020. Is Jordan Love and Ferguson a good trade for Olave? Currently, there are no quarterbacks on the waivers. The next best is Tudor Taylor, and he just picked up Tyler Shuck. I mean, you could probably get, I don't know, let's look. Let's just crunch the numbers on how does this look on a trade calculator? Does the guy like it? Is a big question. Yeah, you could send it over. I would rather have Olave. But there's a good chance he doesn't take it. Like, if I had Olave, would I trade him away for Jordan Love and Ferguson? I don't think so. Unless I was like really desperate for a tight end on top of quarterback. Otherwise, I'd probably just roll with Shuck. But definitely send it. Like, don't say no for them. That's also another good fantasy rule. Like, you shouldn't say no for this guy. I say that I would say no. That doesn't mean he will. He or she. Excuse me. Trade away Lad McConkey for Tyler Algier and Marvin Harrison. No. No, I'm staying with Lad. I like Lad more than Marv. And I don't really know that I would use Tyler Algier. Even if this was to get a handcuff, I don't think the dip from Lad to Marv is enough for me to I think it's too big for me. E. Diggle, I think I can get McBride for Derrick Henry. Would you do that? Do you need to? If you have another tight end and you're not shipping them away, I think the value crossover is pretty even. Some people might prefer McBride. Some people might draft Derrick Henry first if we were drafting today. They may be back-to-back if we were doing ADP right now. But if you already have a tight end, you're just taking some value and lighting it on fire. Like if you've been using Ferguson, just stick with Ferguson and Henry. Unless you have a really amazing extra running back that's sitting on your bench. I don't want to put points onto my bench and not be taking bench points and moving it into my lineup on a trade like that. Scuba Steve, if peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Guys, you can't see what's going on down here. You don't know that I'm not peeing my pants on most of these streams. Corn Doggy, who's your favorite team? The Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears. It's really dark in this room. I don't bring it up a ton on live streams. Not for that many different reasons. I think I'm pretty even keeled on the team, or generally pessimistic. I wouldn't overrate them. I don't ever hide it. I feel like I don't know that there's that much to gain if I don't want to be seen as so much of the discovery on TikTok is just swiping. Like if I see someone wearing Bears gear, I assume that it's just a Bears show instead of a general NFL show. So I stay away from it. Avery Anderson loves the analogy, plus the fact we had a guy in here named Diarrhea yesterday. I think that was a family name that they're just passing down through the generation. Sports Jazz fan, tight end decision, Ferguson or Fannin? I'm going Ferguson. Juan, you don't worry about Gainwell with Warren. I worry more about Warren's health. Like Gainwell got into the game a lot more because Tyler Warren or whatever his name is, Warren, the running back, Jaylen Warren. I think Jaylen Warren left that game hurt. So it's typically Jaylen Warren, and he'll get his. Unspoken Legends, thoughts on the game last night. Bench Texans defense, and they dropped 40. Played Baltimore versus the Jets, so I'm not super worried. That's the right call, though. The right call can be wrong, which is a dumb sentence. Yeah, it feels bad, but given the information we had, like Josh Allen scores against good defenses. We pulled this up a couple times. Like it worked out that Josh Allen got stopped and they intercepted the ball and sacked him a bunch of times, but there are plenty of good defenses here that he just ran over. So we take our losses. I'm very sorry about it. Okay, I definitely don't know how to say this name, Sukh, and it's not something's going on with the YouTube chat where it's not formatting the names. YouTube typically gives you like a display name and a username, but it's not showing me the display names, and it used to. Everybody's an @ right now. So we'll just go with the question and you'll know who you are. Who do you think I can package DK and AJ Brown for one player in return, preferably a wide receiver? We have that. Well, not those players, but we do have that video on YouTube. We get that question probably a dozen times a day. It's under my ultimate trade tips, and it's called Steal This Trade Tip to Win Your Fantasy Football League. And at this point, I should just rename it because I say this 10 to 12 times every single day. Here's the video of how I build trades, especially trades like that. You have 2 players or you have 3 players and you want to build different combinations of 2 and come away with 1 player. Here's how I build those targets, and I just shotgun out trades. Going from 2 to 1 is so valuable that I don't really worry about which guy I get as long as it fits within the rules of this process. We're just using trade calculators and tracking market value, and going from 2 to 1 is incredibly valuable. And fantasy trade calculators don't factor in how valuable it is. So do that. Your other wide receivers are Pittman and Rice. Yep, I would run all of them through this process, and going 2 to 1 to get an up tier just makes your starting lineup better. And that's really what we want at this time of year when we have 2 more weeks of buys, this week and the 14th, and then it's all playoff matchups. So we don't have to worry about missing players from the bye, so we can consolidate a lot of our depth. Angela Fountain, Wandale or Mooney? I'm gonna go with Wandale on that one. Like we've seen it's a 1-game sample size, but we've seen Mooney as the lead guy with Kirk, and it was bad. He just hasn't really been doing that much here. One of these weeks was the one without Drake London, or other spots without Drake London. Like, which one was it? Was it this one against San Francisco? It might have been. Or was it one of these 2s? If you can't obviously tell, I think it's time to swap. Or to go to the other guy. Like, Wandale just performs better. Where are we? Avery Anderson, crazy question. Next year's draft, what guys are immediately on your radar based off what we've seen this year? For next year's fantasy draft, or like next year's redraft fantasy football, not the NFL draft, because we're going to switch to NFL draft and dynasty right after this. But for next year's redraft leagues, it's hard to gauge because I don't ever know who people are going to fall in love with. Let me try to think of some. I think Javonte Williams will be too high, regardless of where he signs. That people will be really high on Javonte Williams to repeat things. Similar, possibly with Rico Dowdle. Those are guys I might end up staying away from. Guys that I will draft would be like Brian Thomas. I'll typically target a lot of the people that hurt fantasy managers in a year, and then some of them are just patterns I follow. Like I have a lot of Javonte Williams and Travis Etienne this year because drafting players in an ambiguous backfield, especially if you just draft both, that's a value win. If you had drafted Javonte Williams and Jayden Blue in rounds like 10 and 11, one of them is the correct answer, and the price of buying both is cheaper than is cheap enough that you're just going to win on value. So stuff like that. But I don't know exactly who people are going to love. Like they'll probably love George Pickens depending on where he signs, and I don't know that I'll follow on that. But we just got to wait and see how people feel in the offseason. Avery Anderson. Oh, that's one we just left off on. Juan Sanchez. Who do you have higher? Juwan Johnson, Mark Andrews, or Hunter Henry? They're all one super blob, but I have Henry at the top of that blob. So I guess Hunter Henry, but it's not a confident take. They would all be like in one big ranking spot. Jay Nums just traded Kittle, Dowdle, Baker, Dobbs, and Watson. Okay, you traded everyone on earth for James Cook, Flowers, and Rome, and you already have McBride. Kittle, Dowdle, for James Cook, Flowers, and Rome. Yeah. And then Baker on top. Okay. And then you're picking up people. You're picking up a lot of people. Louis V6, who should I flex, Luther Burden or Yoshivas? Probably Yoshivas. I'm not ready to jump in on Luther Burden. Corn Doggy says interesting take, but I don't remember what it was referring to. Hopefully it wasn't about diarrhea. KJ Stell, rough bye week for me. Which 2 would I start out of? Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, or Yoshivas? Probably Jacoby Myers and Tucker? Here's what I'll pull up on Jacoby Myers. My reasoning on that one. He was healthy for a lot of the time, playing 95, 98, 88, 90% of the snaps. And then once he got traded, 44% up to 65 in the second week in the offense. And then I would expect this to be 75%. So hopefully just seeing his snap share rise up increases these points from 7 to 11 to 12, 13 as a reasonable guess. Unspoken legends, diarrhea being a family name must run in their genes. Oh no. Oh no. Adam Flynn, would you do Judkins for Chris Olave? I think so. Can we find if anyone has done Judkins for Chris Olave? It wouldn't surprise me. You can also do things like this on, this website has a trade database. I'll set this to just 2 assets in the trade, which means only 1 for ones. Yeah, someone did Judkins for Chris Olave today, and it lights up as a very even trade. 64 is essentially 0. 496 is also like 0 on the value swap. 1900 is a big value swap. So Judkins for Cortland Sutton, this is just saying most people think Judkins should be way ahead. Judkins for Ladd McConkey is another option. So Olave fits right in that crew. Adam Flynn. Gun Show. Is there anywhere you think I should strengthen on my roster? Gun Show, we do those in our Twitch or in our Discord server. So it's a long message from Gun Show, and I'm in a 10-man league with how many players start and then a full team listed. We do those in our Discord where you just post a picture of the team, but this is in a channel that requires a specific Discord role. You can get it through Twitch subscription, which works with Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost you any extra money. Or if you're watching on TikTok or YouTube and don't have any sort of Twitch connection, we do have a server supporter subscription that gives you a different but exactly the same channel where you post your team. And sometimes I respond with a video if I'm cooking or doing something and can say my answer faster than typing it. But we have those channels for that. We just don't do them on the live stream. Shane Kidder, apparently Bucky was disappointed to be announced out, so I'll take that as he felt he could play. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the thing that Mike Florio was talking about with a non-football reason. Maybe Mike Florio's hearing something and thinking it's a non-football reason, and that's just a wrong interpretation. It's all just rumors on that. Mooney is still available in my league. Should I drop Chuba for Mooney? Yeah, probably Chuba for Mooney's fine. Like, we don't know how long Drake London is out. Maybe it's a great connection between Mooney and Kirk Cousins, but it's a low percentage play. Avery Anderson, Pickens goes high too, especially if he stays with the Cowboys. Could be. If he stays with the Cowboys, I feel like we'll know what he is. And in that situation, I just like to know a little bit more about it if the player is kind of perceived the way George Pickens is, as like a problem child. Like the Cowboys have already handled it. People were really low on Pickens, at least in Dynasty, where we're tracking values all year. People got really low on Pickens because they just really had no idea what he was going to be. But then he was all right. So if he switches teams and we're not sure if the coach can handle him as a player, like someone who was held out of the start of the game for missing curfew, among other things like fighting in games, I may end up just going with other guys. It could work out, but I'll probably be somewhere else. Gainwell or Watson at the flex. It's going to depend on if Jaylen Warren plays. If Jaylen Warren's playing, I'll go Christian Watson. Cole Infamous, like from the game. With Bucky out, is Tucker or White the better option? We don't know. I'm going to go with Tucker, though. I think I'd take a little bit of, or I do just want to make a point and say, like, we don't know who the better option is. We have our guesses, and I'm guessing Tucker. And I think it's a fine guess, but we're not going to know. Should you drop Bo Nix at this point? You have Herbert, and I'm starting Brissett, and Jamar and Jacobs have been on my bench, so I need the bench space. Yeah, you can. You can also just shop him. Not even shop him, just send out, like, if the way I would think about it is if I sit down and build 20 trades and see if I get anything for Bo Nix, like, all you're spending is time. If people say no, you drop him. But if you spend a little bit of time and get a slight upgrade elsewhere, I'm typically trying to do that. What you doing, Lovely says, Montgomery going to be getting more snaps? Not that I know of, or for any specific reason. Mason Steele, any Jacobs, Bucky, Pacheco updates? Bucky is out. Pacheco, I think is listed as questionable, but trending towards in, downgraded to limited, which is bad. So if someone practiced on Wednesday in full and then gets limited on Thursday, we'll just keep track of it. If he stays limited on Friday, then there's a problem. If he goes back to full, then there's no problem. And then Jacobs, I think, is trending towards playing. Scuba Steve says, standing ovation for the family name, Unspoken Legends. He lagged out as I read it. You can check the replay on YouTube. We do have each of these. If you wanted to watch an old man answer questions for hours, these do get posted to YouTube. I don't expect a lot of people want to watch them, but they only count as watch hours if they stay public. So exactly. Scuba Steve says, got to get them watch hours. Turns out if I go live and don't keep it public afterwards, they don't count as watch hours. So we're just trying to get the watch hours up. That's full transparency there. David Doesn't says trade deadline hits, so you can't trade. Paydirt, would I start Jameson Williams over Kyron in a flex spot? I wouldn't. I really like Kyron. Crimney need to trade away Jamar and Bucky to top teams, or else I'm eliminated from the playoffs. Do we think chase for CeeDee if possible? It should definitely be possible. They might not want to do it. They might just decide like we're gonna not take the upgrade and wipe your team away. I might do that in a league. Just say like I don't like your team. I want you out. There's definitely human beings that I might say that to. So like yeah, shop them, Crimney. Danny Boy, Flex Charbonnet or Sean Tucker. Ooh, I think Sean Tucker. And then I'll add on that Crimney. Keep in mind, like some members in your league will look at your roster and look at your league standings and try to think of what you're thinking about your team. Like if you feel like you're about to be eliminated, but there's also a good chance they're just looking at their team and not thinking about you at all. So send out some high trades. Los on TikToks, who should I start at tight end? Hunter, Otten, Njoku, or Johnson? I have a Hunter Henry, the highest. But it's all kind of just a blob of tight ends. If you are on TikTok and you're having a trouble getting a question such as that one read, where it's just, which tight end do I start? Or which wide receiver do I start? Or which running back do I start? We do just have ranks. So with a lot of things, my opinion hasn't changed since Tuesday. It would have changed on someone like Bucky Irving or Sean Tucker. Some of these things I ranked them as though specific things would be happening. Like if Emmanuel Wilson is playing, he's ranked as though he's playing, and we would always call that out in the video. But it's the same guy, same chair, same thoughts. There hasn't been that much fluctuation this week with all of the things that we knew were out. We knew Chase was out when I recorded this. We knew Drake London was out when I recorded this. So you can get your wide receiver ranks, your running back ranks, your quarterback questions, all of it there as well. Crimney and Bucky for either Saquon or Henry. Yeah, I would take Saquon or Henry. I would rather have either one of those. Jackals, Bijan Robinson or Corum as the better handcuff. That one's just really like the correct answer is just which one gets hurt. So maybe Bijan Robinson, but we've also seen Kyron get hurt at a pretty decent rate. So it's just probably the one that you have, the guy you have on your team, but we don't know. Avery Anderson, do we stay optimistic about Drake London returning during the playoff, or should we shift? I think even if he plays, like, isn't it worse? Isn't it worse with Kirk Cousins there? So if I can get out on him, typically I am. Especially if it's just like Drake London for Justin Jefferson. Yeah, seems fine. Mason Steele, is RJ Harvey the lead in Denver or still split work? I think we just depends how we define lead. Here's DeAndre Swift. He's the lead guy. He gets 57, 60% of the snaps, 66% of the snaps. This is not the rushing or passing opportunities, but DeAndre Swift's the lead guy. It's just closer to half than you want. Is RJ Harvey the lead guy? Yeah, but it's going to be closer to half than you want. He's up to 61%, and he'll probably stay in that range. There will be other guys getting touches the same way Swift has other guys getting touches. A lot of running backs in the league are split closer to 60 to 65% than you think. Only a few guys really are the only option. I think Jonathan Taylor would be at 85%. Yeah, 92, 85, 75, 79% of the snaps. Most guys are closer to 60s. Skadnot traded Hunter Henry for Waddle. Ooh la la. Hunter Henry, the tight end for Jalen Waddle. I like that. Unspoken Legends, any word on Henderson or Ramondre? Cleared to return, expected to play Sunday 19 minutes ago. He's been at practice all week. So we'll see what happens. There's a wait and see. Like in these situations, I don't know what they're going to do. So we just wait and see. Gianna, we got Nick Mudd saying, hey, what's up, Nick? Dad Tommy Boy, pick up Jameson Williams or hold Emmanuel Wilson. I probably would just go with Jameson Williams. KJ Stell, since I got Ladd and Debo on bye, I'm in a must-win situation. Would a Chase Brown for Addison and Judkins make sense? The calculator says I shouldn't, and I don't like Addison with 9. Like, would I send away Chase Brown for those two? I wouldn't. I would say with Chase Brown. Mason Steele, would you start RJ Harvey over Kareem Hunt and Emmanuel Wilson? Not this week because he's on bye, but yes. Where do I put Hendo in the ranks? Javonte or Hendo? I would have Javonte Williams ahead. Where do I have Henderson right now? Oh, wait, no, I have Henderson at 9, but I think I ranked it as no Ramondre and said so in the video. But I have Javonte Williams at 10. So, I mean, I'll dip that down right now. But Javonte would now be ahead of Henderson because Ramondre would be playing. Sorry, I just had to make sure I was saying all the correct names. Nick Mudd, I just got Tyler Warren for Jake Ferguson and Ladd McConkey. Thoughts? I don't think that's bad. I think it's like full price, but I don't think it's bad. Thanson 420, Henry or Kelsey? I would go Kelsey. Nahom, Cade Otton, or Bam Knight in PPR and a tight end premium? Probably just Cade Otton then. We got a spammer on Kick. This is Adam on Discord, but don't. Dad Tommy Boy, Henderson or Hall at the flex. I would still have Henderson ahead of Breece Hall. And that one might end up being wrong. Cyber Zion is daddy. Sean Tucker or Tajay Spears. I would go Tucker. Danny Boy, flex Tet, Olave, or Diggs. I think I'm going Olave. But I would also, Danny Boy, try to, if that's your flex option, like let's try to trade 2 of those and come away with 1. Like trade Diggs and Olave for Devontae Adams. Could you even get up to Rashee Rice? Probably not, but check. See how high you could get up. Trade 2 of those guys. If you're just putting 2 guys on your bench each week, try to trade one of them away and get a better flex option. Unspoken Legends, that Bengals matchup, though, it's like a bowl of candy right in front of me. True. Does that just go to Ramondre? I don't know. The only thing that we heard from Vrabel was he just said he just listed each of the running backs that he has and says they have helped us. I think he said Ramondre has helped us. Trevion Henderson has helped us. Jennings has helped us. Is Ramondre Stevenson playing? There wasn't a name attached to that one on TikTok, at least. Hezbollah Nation. Stevenson playing? Yeah. That's the report as of it was posted about 20 minutes ago on Sleeper. This latest news blurb from Fantasy Pros. He's been cleared to return and expected to play on Sunday, 22 minutes ago now. Logan drops Sutton for handcuff Algier. I think I would drop someone else first. I'm not sure how deep your league is that Sutton would be the droppable guy for you, but Sutton still has enough value that you could trade Sutton away in a 2-for-1 and then make room for Algier. Would I trade Kittle for Saquon? Yes, I would, boys. Jason Ortiz, start 1. Lawrence, Shuck, Young, Raider, Rodgers, Geno. I guess if Aaron Rodgers is playing against the Bears, he would be the number 1 option there. Then Winston. If Flacco is playing, Flacco would be the top option. Lawrence is solid as well. There's a lot of these that are, you just want 15 points some weeks in a must-win week. A lot of these guys are eligible for 15 points. Flacco, Rodgers, Lawrence, all, if they're starting, are all likely to hit 15. And I wouldn't think too hard about it because we just can't know the future. Like, we can make our guesses. Those guys are all good guesses. And then we hope that it's right. Would it be insane to play Gibbs and Montgomery and bench either Ken Walker or Aaron Jones? It's not insane to start them both. I think they had a very long streak, Gibbs and Montgomery, of both scoring touchdowns. If someone wanted to do the research on that, that might be something Googleable, where someone had written an article about it saying it was like 10 games in a row that they both scored a touchdown. So that's not crazy. I just have, I think I have Aaron Jones ahead of Montgomery this week by about 8 or 9 spots, but by like, I have Jones at 20, Montgomery at 25. So if you wanted to, I wouldn't think you were nuts. Logan, trade deadline was last week. That's why it's the drop option. Possibly, yeah. I don't know that I would heavily favor dropping Sutton there. If you're absolutely never going to start him, then sure. But it also wouldn't surprise me if they come out of the bye and target Sutton a bunch and we're hyped up on Sutton again. Gabe Caprillion traded Aaron Jones and Shaheed for Terry McLaurin and Marks. Okay. I think I may have just stayed, like this one, I may have just stayed with Aaron Jones as the best player and stuck with that, but it's just one I wouldn't have done. I don't know that I could even say it's bad. Unspoken Legends dart out this week. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Javid, I got Javonte Williams and traded ETN and Jacoby Myers because I'm guaranteed in the playoffs. Did you trade them for Javonte Williams? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't hate that trade. Hazy Jorge with X's for the vowels. Gainwell or Judkins for the flex. I'm going Judkins. If there's no Jaylen Warren, then I'm putting them about back-to-back. But if Jaylen Warren's playing, I'm going Judkins. Rafa, which quarterback should I pick up for this week? How would I know? How would I know who's available? Joe Montez trade Jaylen Warren and Goddard for Derrick Henry? Yeah, I would. Matt, please pick 2. Yes, sir. Thank you, Matt, for the question. Monty, Michael Wilson, Wandale, I would sit Michael Wilson. I just don't want to chase it. I don't want to chase what happened there. Brando, 2 quarterback league, Rodgers or Sanders. I would go Aaron Rodgers if he's playing. Any news on BTJ from Watermelon? Let's look. Nope, that's your name. Brian Thomas, questionable. No, nothing new since yesterday. Limited practice on Thursday after a 2-practice absence. So that's back-to-back limited sessions. Let's see what he looks like on Friday. And then it's just a wait and see. With the ankle, if he goes, I guess I'm going with him. Unspoken Legends, why is Sean Tucker projected for 19 points versus the Rams? What do they know? I think that's your league's scoring. Sean Tucker is projected for 14 in a standard PPR. I think they just like the player. Criminy, would you rather Devontae or CeeDee rest of season? I would still pick CeeDee Lamb over Devontae Adams. Yonkers, Jennings and Nico for BTJ and Kittle. I think I want Jennings and Nico. I think that's too much for Kittle. Alec Iamaner has been ruled out. That alert just came through. I don't know that there's anyone that we're picking up to use for the Titans, but if you wanted to use Cam Ward, I would say don't. Mouse Panda Gaming, pick 3 of these 4. Thank you for telling me how many there will be and how many I need to. That is really helpful. I'm not being I'm not joking here. Knowing that I just need to eliminate one of these is actually really helpful, because I would say, probably Pittman as the one out. Mouse Panda. Ginger Snap need a running back 2 this week. Tucker or Stevenson? I think Sean Tucker. Koos L, how do you feel about this trade? I got Achane for Nico, Ken Walker, and Purdy. I like that trade. You got Achane for that? I like it. Rafa, should I pick up Bryce Young or Trevor Lawrence? I think Trevor Lawrence. We've seen him be better more often. Like most weeks, Trevor Lawrence is better than Bryce Young. but in a lot of weeks, they're both kind of bad. Purdy or Hurts this week from Criminy? I'm going Hurts. I'm going Hurts with the rushing. Fiery Tutor, should I trade Achane for Saquon because I need to win? Yeah. If you couldn't get Achane for Gibbs, I would try Saquon. LeBron James is here. Pick one, Goff, Burrow, or Dak. Right now it's Dak, but if Burrow played against the Patriots, I'd probably still go Dak. And Burrow would be ahead of like Jared Goff. He'd fit in at 8. Would be my initial one. I don't even have him listed yet. Start Judkins or Genty from Christopher. I have Judkins ahead because I don't like Genty playing the Browns. Like, it's possible that it works out against the Browns. Derrick Henry just had a long touchdown against them, but the Browns are one of the best defenses in the league in general. And if they had a better offense, I think we would just be saying they're the best defense ahead of Houston. Ethan Trombley, would I drop Nix or Purdy for Burrow? I would drop Bo Nix there. He's not playing this week. Maybe Burrow doesn't play this week, but I think everyone next week would rather have Burrow than Bo Nix. And if you can't trade Bo Nix, I think it's okay to drop him. Casey Waters, A.D. Mitchell, or Chris Godwin in the flex. What has happened with A.D. Mitchell? He's in a 15 hours ago. Adonai Mitchell's fresh start with the Jets will lead to an increased workload. Maybe. I'm going with Chris Godwin over A.D. Mitchell. What the workload, the thing that I saw this week, let's see if it shows up if I look up Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's second stint opens with a favorable matchup. No. I saw some reports saying they went to Tyrod to better gauge if Adonai Mitchell and their other young receivers are any good. I think it was like Mitchell, Mason Taylor, and someone else. But I'm staying away from all the receivers. Where am I? London and BTJ for Adams, or just hope for the best with London? I don't know why you have to add BTJ onto that. But, like, yeah, if you weren't adding BTJ, I would say I'm fine with swapping it. Am I hoping for the best? Like, it seems unlikely that there is the best. Or that, like, where do we realistically put him? Does he stay ahead of T. Higgins, Pickens, and Ibuka with no Penix? Like, if it's just Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins, 21 up for 31, 173 yards in his one start this year against Atlanta. Not Atlanta, he is Atlanta, against Miami. Not really looking that good last year. How was Drake London in general last year in 2024? Still pretty usable. So maybe I'm overreacting. I think I'm overreacting a little bit. I think I'm just more concerned that I don't know when Drake London is actually coming back. They hope that he's back in week 13. So yeah, no, I don't think I'm trading BTJ in London for Adams. You're about to trade Bijan for Jonathan Taylor from Jorge. I like that one. Jorge Estebanos Osuna Alvarez. I would trade BTJ for Jonathan Taylor. Do you like sending Bijan for Amon-Ra and Chase Brown? I like that a lot. I like that one a lot. Do I like that more than just Jonathan Taylor? I might like that more than just Jonathan Taylor, Amon-Ra and Chase Brown. Okay, Rambert, trade Goff for Goddard. It's a one quarterback league. You already have Hurts. Yeah, I like this deal. You've listed you don't have a tight end. That's very good. You have Johnson and Barner, and you would move Goff for Goddard, but you already have Hurts and Dak. Like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Fiery Tutor, since I traded Achane for Saquon, should I try to trade either Judkins or Hendo with Rome and upgrade a wide receiver? Like, you should see what's available. Yeah. See what's available. I don't know the full roster, but see what's available. Yes, Alex the Mod says, can you explain the concept of a league vetoing a decision? Sure. There are leagues that when you make a trade, the two managers, the two players agree, like, yeah, we'll make this trade, and then it goes into a review period for 1 to 2 days where the other league managers can vote if it's good enough, if it's close enough. and then they can vote to veto the trade and just say, no, you can't make that trade. It's a bunch of garbage. You shouldn't be playing in any sort of league that has that. I mean, the whole game is just valuing players. So if I'm in first place, why would I ever let the guy in last place determine if a trade I made is fair? Like, he's already shown he stinks at this. So why would I trust his opinion on if a trade is fair? I don't think we should be doing trade vetoes. And if there's someone in your league that's bad, that's the game. It's not sports betting. It's like negotiation and finding out who doesn't understand player values and making trades with them. So if I got to someone first, that's because I'm good at fantasy and other people are looking around at their league and saying my league doesn't trade, instead of just reaching out to the guy who stinks and getting all of his players. Okay, Ramber, trade Goff for Goddard. We covered that one. Fiery Tutor, we covered that one. Jolt Engineer, trade Daniel Jones for Kincaid. You got Purdy and Burrow. I mean, we saw. Is Kincaid playing? I would send Daniel Jones, but I would want to get a tight end that's playing. And then the follow-up Jolt Engineer is like, if you can't trade Daniel Jones for a tight end, try to trade him for a running back or a wide receiver, and then trade that for a tight end, or trade one of your existing running backs for a tight end. So I don't know that I would do Jones for Kincaid, but I understand if you're trying to solve a problem, just like add a couple extra steps and get to a better solution. Scuba Steve says, spit and truth, I just hate vetoes. It's the worst. And I like trades that go through right away. Is Garrett Wilson even worth trading for anymore? Like, I don't know. He went on to the 4-game IR, expected to return this season. The earliest he can return is week 15, which would be in the fantasy playoffs, which could be when he comes back. He might come back week 15 or 16. But I would value it at that. Like, only one or two. I mean, how many teams are going to be left playing by the time he comes back in week 16? 4? So you got to make sure that you are one of those 4 if you're trading for him. He should be very cheap. Did we cover this one? Fiery Tutor, what do you think about Judkins or Hendo with Rome and maybe Quentin Johnson for Amon-Ra? Yeah, I like it. I probably want the Amon-Ra side. Devonta Smith or Dowdle at the flex from BB. I think I'm just taking Dowdle there. There's a bit too much volatility with Devonta Smith. Like, he could easily outscore Dowdle, but he's had weeks where he scores under 2 points. So I would just take the safer floor with Dowdle. Burrow or Caleb Williams from Brock Bauer Stan. What's going on, Brock Bauer Stan? I understand that you can stand for someone, but what if there was a country near Kazakhstan that like Brock Bauer Stan? That's what I think of when I see your name. Who do I like more? If Burrow is playing, I would probably put him ahead of Caleb Williams. I have Caleb Williams at 10, Baker Mayfield at 9, Goff at 8, playing the Giants, and I think Burrow would slide into that range. Messi traded Barkley and Burrow for Bijan. Is it a win? I hope so. Is Burrow ahead of Dak or May this week? I don't think so. It's also a tough defense. Like, we don't know that he's. I don't know what. He hasn't been playing in months. We see teams look rough in the preseason. Now, that could be the whole team looks rough. So if one player comes back, the whole team could manage it. That's kind of my thought process there. Like, I kind of want to see it before I put him back into the top 5. But I would have him like top 8. If you have him, I would put him in ahead of Jackson Dart's out. I could see going to him over Daniel Jones, over Darnold, and really over Caleb Williams against the Steelers and Baker against the Rams matchup. That's about where I'm slotting him in. Adam Flynn, do I prefer sending Judkins for Chris Olave or Jameson Williams with Laporta gone? Probably Jameson Williams. It could be that Jameson Williams is benefiting from Laporta being gone. I don't know that I have a strong preference. I might try to keep Judkins for the positional advantage. When I'm looking at running backs who could be an RB2, there's not a ton that I'm confident with past Judkins. Like, Bam Knight is going away. A lot of these names are just kind of gross, where if I could keep Judkins and use him, I probably am sticking with that. Like I don't want to ever have to think about starting Monungai, Tajay Spears, Woody Marks, Charbonnet, Rashad White, Bam Knight, Tyrone Tracy. I could just keep Judkins and be happier with that. Johnny Closter, Jackson Dart is out. Thank you, Johnny. Casual viewer 95, start Caleb or Young. I would go with Caleb. I've seen much more success from Caleb Williams compared to Bryce Young and a higher floor in general. Ferguson or Henry? I'm going Ferguson, Adam. I think people have gotten out on Ferguson, and that one I haven't followed. I've got Ferguson at 5. And I would comfortably start him over Henry. It might not work every week, but every week I would have it ranked that way. Trade Bijan and Burrow for Jonathan Taylor from Avi Returns. Like, I might do that. If I don't want to worry about Bijan with Kirk Cousins and what happens there, and just get Jonathan Taylor, who's been way better. And if I have another quarterback, I would also check and see if you could add Burrow to a different player and get a more sure upgrade. We've said that take a couple times. Like, if Bijan is still a top 5 running back, I don't know that I love going from 4 to 1. If I could go from 15 to 7, pairing Burrow with another running back and just seeing what other trade is there. Will with the kind words saying, keep it up your grade. Thank you, Will. Cooper Mercer trade Bucky for Javonte. Yeah. If we don't know when he's coming back and you just want off that ride, Javonte is a fine crossover. Maybe Bucky is better rest of the year, but that is one of the times where we're adding in enough on top where I would be fine doing a 1-for-1 trade. I don't do a lot of like running back for running back trade. Like, would I trade Achane for Gibbs? Why? Maybe yeah, because Gibbs doesn't have a bye. Isn't on bye this week, but after this week, would I do it? No, I like him about the same. Or would I trade Gibbs for Achane? No. What can I get for Breece Hall from Zach Riddle? Have I done Breece Hall recently? I don't know if I've done Breece Hall recently. Nope. I wrote down all the names of the players I've done. I think I've done some repeats. Let's just look at Breece Hall. You get Quinshon Judkins. We'll open it up to do no more than 3. Breece Hall for Judkins, Bucky, Ladd, Breece Hall and Zay Flowers for Javonte, Breece Hall and Zay for Puka. That one seems insane. Breece Hall and Trey Tucker for Kamara. Breece Hall for Tucker and Kamara. I don't like that. We'll open it up to 4 players in the trade, and I'll leave it for you. Watermelon. Rocking with Gibbs and Montgomery, feeling like the Lions have a huge bounce back game. Go for it. Go for it. Breece, Aaron Jones, Ken Walker, or BTJ at the flex. I might go Breece. What's the matchup there? The Ravens. I could go Breece against the Ravens. Steph's online. What's up, Steph? Mechie or Mitchell? Mechie is the name that I was trying to think of. Which one to pick up? I think Mechie, but you could swap it after this week. That's about how I feel about it. I would go with Mechie, but I'm totally open to being wrong. We're just taking a shot in the dark, and I think Mechie has done a little bit more for the Jets. I think he's been on the Jets a little bit longer. See, Silly, happy Friday. Dynasty trade. Oh, boy. Happy Friday. Traded Luther Burden, a first, a third for BTJ and Rico Dowdle. I like it. I like getting BTJ there. And Dowdle for this year. A first and a third. I mean, I would send Burden for Dowdle if I'm contending this year. And then a first and a third for BTJ. Great. I don't know your league settings, but in the leagues I play in, I like it. Adam Flynn, I already have Bijan, Henry, and Kyron at running back. Nice. I don't remember the rest of what we're talking about, but I like it. I like those 3. Jolt Engineer, Daniel Jones for Gadsden? Yes, I think you had asked about a different player. And I like Gadsden more than Kincaid in general, just because Kincaid's been hurt so much. Steph's online. Shot in the Dark is the name of my team. Funny. Oh, Shot in the Dark is the name of my team. Funny you said that. Oh, nice. I did say that about the Jets wide receivers. I immediately forget everything I say, Steph. Postman 2-0, trade Gibbs for Jamar. Yeah. Your other running backs are Jacobs, Dowdle, Bucky, Chase Brown, Benson. Yeah, I'd be fine with that. You could even ask for another small player back to cover the situation where you don't have Jamar right now. Like Gibbs for Jamar in any given week is fine. And now you don't get Jamar, so you could ask for another, like Alec Pierce, Jordan Addison, throw something back on there. Bree says, yo, Unc, Pittman or Butte? I'm going Pittman. I'm assuming Unc is good. Just old and good, I hope, and not old and bad. Slayton or Trey Tucker? From Logan George. Oh, man, I'm sorry, Logan. Slayton with Jameis? Is what I would do, but this is the way I would feel when I do it. And probably all Sunday I would just go like, Santi, who would I start? Mark Andrews, Noah Fant, or Otten, or Theo Johnson? I think Otten. I think I would start Otten. Or maybe, no, this week I'm taking Mark Andrews. Let's see him get a touchdown against the Jets. Dakota, Yoshivas, or Godwin? I think Godwin. If Godwin's playing, and you might have to wait until Sunday night, going Godwin. All right, Bree says, Unc is a term of endearment for the cool elderly. You could have left the last word off. I'm not that old. Pittman or Gainwell? I'm going Pittman, Matthew. Unless Jalen Warren was ruled out. I would expect that Jalen Warren just goes back to being the lead option there. Dakota says, appreciate you, Goff or Mahomes. I'm going Mahomes, slightly ahead of Goff. Mahomes at 7, Goff at 8. Henderson or Judkins from J-Dub, where do I have it? I have Henderson at 13, but that one might shift. We've started moving him with Ramondre being cleared for Sunday, and then was it Judkins? I have Judkins at 12. Who are people trading for Bucky from Sam Neal? Trevion Henderson. This one seems wild. Trey McBride. Ken Walker. Travis Etienne. There's teams where I could move Etienne for him. Smudgy Poke with the follow. Thank you, Smudgy Poke. Santi, who would I start? Oh, we covered that one. Austin O'Shea, 12 on TikTok. Thank you for the question. What should I try to get for Drake London? We got a video on that one right here. This one, yesterday. Drake London and more trade values. Who can I get for Christian McCaffrey from Delgado? I don't think I've done Christian McCaffrey on a long one. Who could you get for McCaffrey? Did I do that on a TikTok video this week? I don't think I have. I probably should. Let's look. Here's some of the Bucky Irving trades, and we'll go to Christian McCaffrey. This is what people are getting for. I mean, this one we ignore. Ken Walker for McCaffrey. Gibbs and Olave for McCaffrey is something people got for. If I had McCaffrey, I could move him for Gibbs and Olave. Aaron Jones and Parker Washington. That seems like a war crime. Some of these are the worst thing. Josh Jacobs and Achane. Someone sent that for McCaffrey. Where if I have McCaffrey, I might take the packy. Might take the package. Henderson and Collins. That's one that would make it into a video because I think people would say they would never do it. But also someone did do it. Adam Flynn, I was asking about sending Judkins for a better wide receiver. You mentioned how Judkins could be a solid RB2, but I got 3 solid ones already. Okay, that cover the flex also. Yeah. Just trading him 1-for-1 for a wide receiver. Oh yeah, Judkins for Olave. That's a fine 1-for-1. I'm now tracking with what you're saying. Luca Vane, what to do with Bijan? Luca, you're on TikTok. That was the video today. Swipe in. Swipe in, Luca. Luca, my man. It's right here. Jack Kettner, can't believe I traded Diggs for Laporta. I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry, boss. I don't know that I'm not sure that I said that I told you to do it. but hopefully I didn't. I probably would have, but I'm sorry that it happened. Where are we? Parker or Tez from It's Me? Would I go with Parker or Tez? I think I might base that one based on... I think I have it ranked as though Brian Thomas is playing, and I have Parker ahead of Tez. Parker Washington playing the Cardinals, Tez playing the Rams. I've got Parker slightly ahead. Okay, Jack Kettner got greedy for a tight end in week 8. I'm sorry, boss. Because I probably would have done that. So I'm wrong. Let's see. Manipulative narcissist. Start Michael Wilson or Hall at the flex. I feel like Hall might be safer. I would be going Breece Hall. I have not been chasing. I have been off this Michael Wilson train. If you caught lightning last week, you bottled it up, said yum yum lightning in a bottle. I'm not looking to try to catch it again. Breece Inc., Sean Tucker or Aaron Jones. I have them like right next to each other right now. I have Aaron Jones slightly ahead. I think, are they playing in Green Bay? Is Aaron Jones returning to Green Bay for this one? At Green Bay, Aaron Jones returning. I've got him at 20. I'm not deeply in love with the man. And then Sean Tucker at 22. A lot of that has to do with the Rams. Or the Rams matchup. If you look at which teams allow the fewest points to fantasy football running backs, Sean Tucker plays the Rams on Sunday night in Los Angeles, and they are one of the toughest teams to run or score fantasy points at. Scooby Steve says, was that a laugh from the missus? I don't know if she's home. She might be out walking the dog. I haven't heard one from her. She might have left me during this live. Filed the papers. Is she home? It's checking. It's checking to see if she's home. 4 minutes ago she was home. Apologies for the haunted house. Scared not hearing voices. Maybe. She might not be home. I have no idea. I'm in my own little world here. Why couldn't Ramondre be out just one more week from Unspoken Legends? I don't know. Maybe he leaves this game. Maybe he fumbles and leaves the game. Breece, other league, Charbonnet or Algier? I would go Charbonnet. Exosire, would DK, Judd, and Swift be an overpay for Bucky? I'd pair him with Achane. I possibly. I don't know that I would trade for Bucky right now. I don't know what's going on. Dolg, with Bucky out, is Tucker the move over Ricky Pearsall? It could be. Yeah. It might end. I mean, bleh. If we had seen Ricky Pearsall just be Slicky Ricky, just be Rick P last week, if we just gotten a classic Ricky P game, if we had gotten 9 from Ricky Pearsall last week, I would say, yeah, I'm going Ricky Pearsall. But because we got 1, but 75, he's out there playing. The boy's out there running. I don't know yet. I'll know on Sunday. I think you don't know either. I don't have to. I think I could say I don't know yet. That's allowed. Let me check. Is it allowed? I've still got most of the followers, so I think it's allowed to say I don't know yet. I'll give it some thought. What's everyone's thoughts on OBJ? Will he see field time this season? I don't think so. Jacob Justice kind of in a bind. Need a wide receiver with London going out on 5 and 6. 8-man playoff, currently 6th. This is, what am I looking at, Jacob Justice? I also just heard a noise on Twitch. I'm trying to help Jacob Justice. We got a sub from Dolg with a prime sub. Dolg, thank you, Dolg. We crushed the goal today. Thank you to Scoob Steve. Thank you to Dolg. I keep wanting to call you Golg, which I guess that's reasonable. Dolg isn't a word either. For Jacob Justice, need a wide receiver. You have Nico, Michael Wilson, Pierce, BTJ. I'm probably going I mean, you started Nico. So I'm probably just putting BTJ in the lineup, hoping for the best. Or you go with Alec Pierce and hope that he gets a couple deep shots and one's a touchdown. If you feel like you're behind the 8 ball with Nico. We covered Dole. A Frosty. Should I start Sean Tucker or Kareem Hunt this week? I would go Sean Tucker over Hunt. Dole gets a tough decision. I have to sit Ricky till he decides to score points. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's all mental. It's all mental for Ricky. We covered Frosty. It's me, Atlanta, Baltimore, or Jacksonville. Oh man, I'm going Baltimore. I'm going Baltimore. Mark, who do I start this week? Sean Tucker or Dobbs? I would go Tucker. Jackson, Darnold, or Baker? You Burrow on IR. I think I'm gonna go Darnold. I don't know why I just minimized the browser that you guys see. Breeze for the wife's team. Genty or Mooney at flex? I'm going Genty. I know it's Genty against the Browns, but we have not seen Mooney. Like even if Genty has a terrible game, that's just a regular game for Mooney. Like terrible is just the normal over here. That's my thoughts. Theo Johnson or Godwin? Oy. I might just go with Theo Johnson until I see it from Godwin and miss the first good game. Jay Queebs. I traded Kyron Williams for A.J. Brown and Ken Walker. Who won? I like the Kyron side. We definitely don't know who won. And I rarely say someone won a trade. I like the Kyron side. I probably would have stayed there. But we don't know the future. Mooney or Kamara from Luis? I would go Kamara. Evan Mallett with the 16 roses. Thank you. Thank you, Evan. Jacob Justice. Guy wants London and Kyron for Puka. Do I do it with Dowdle, Henry, and Henderson? I like Kyron's season rest of schedule. I mean, I like Kyron a lot. Would I move Kyron in London for Puka? Let's crunch it on the Calci. Just crunch it on the old Calci. We'll talk about the values as we go through them. London at running back 10. I think that I'm not going to question that too much. I would probably put him in the top 10. Yeah. Drake London at wide receiver 12. So he's taking a hit. He's taking a hit here. Do I think he is the top 12 going season, or is the 12th best wide receiver going forward? That would be behind players like T. Higgins, George Pickens, or Olave, or in the range of Pittman. I might like him comfortably ahead of those. But would I send him away for Puka? Yeah, I could do that. I don't know the exact bits of the rest of your team, but in general, I can. Do JSN for Bijan? I think I'm just saying JSN. Saltsy. I don't know that I like the chances of Bijan clearing out JSN's value for the rest of the year. Uzi, Monty for Ken Walker. Monty or Ken Walker for the flex. I've got Ken Walker ahead, but I think you'll agree with me. Like, we don't know what's going on with Ken. We don't know in any given week. But I do have him slightly ahead of Monty. Evan Mallett trade Javonte and Baker for Mahomes and Kyron. Let's look at it, because I think it's all just kind of like a sure. What was this? Kyron and Javonte and Baker for Mahomes and Kyron. I think I'm just taking Mahomes and Kyron personally, but this is just like, this one feels like it's just going to be a personal decision. Like, I'm guessing that this lights up very close to value. Nope, I'm a dum-dum. This puts Mahomes at QB3 on weekly rankings. I've been putting him around 4 or 5 or 6. So people are still really high on Mahomes, which would swing it this way. I like Kyron over Javonte, and I'm surprised to see that he's ranked ahead of Javonte, based on how many times I hear people worried about Kyron. So I liked the Kyron side before. The calculator agrees. Uzi, it's the same situation, except I kind of like Ken Walker matchup. Then go with Ken Walker. I've just been burned by my sweet Ken. Cast award, pick up Alec Pierce or Jameson Williams? Probably Jameson Williams. A little bit, but Alec Pierce has been good too. They're both really good options. They're both really good flyers. What should I do about Sutton? Drop, trade, keep? I mean, I'm keeping. It wouldn't surprise me. Like, I'm not putting this at a big percentage. who was the question from? Chris Krask. I don't think it's a high percentage, but it would not surprise me if Sutton goes on bye, Bo Nix goes on bye, they come back, and the team looks a little bit better. They look really good against the Commies. They look really good against the Raiders, and Sutton looks good against these bad teams and kind of bounces back to the 15, 16, 17 points per week, and then people are back in on Sutton. That wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's insane, but it's definitely someone I would keep. I don't just want to drop him. Barkley and Jordan Addison for Kyron and something from someone. Reese Porter, Barkley and Jordan Addison for Kyron and DK. No, I'm going to stay with Barkley there. Do I think Bucky is back week 13 from Sam? We don't know. They're hopeful, but we just don't. I mean, if you had asked me, I would have said he was coming back after their bye week. But now it's been multiple games past that. 3 more games past that. So, I don't know. Swift or Emmanuel Wilson in the flex? I think I'm Swift. It's me. Especially, I mean, we don't even know that Jacobs is missing the game. Josh Jacobs feeling good, practicing again on Friday. That was 2 hours ago. We just haven't heard the practice report past that. They'll usually list him as limited or full participant and then update the injury designation. He may be a full participant and stay questionable, but if he's a full participant, I would expect him to play. Flow Sauce, Jameis, Cousins, or Sean Tucker for Superflex. I'm going Jameis. Should I start? We covered A. Frosty. We covered Jacob Justice, Saltsy. Oh, I guess I don't know if I missed that one or I'd already covered it. Scuba Steve, any plans to stream this evening? Yeah, I think so. We'll put the kid to bed. I don't know if it's a daddy bedtime tonight. But yeah, probably around 7:30, depending on how long, what goes on with bedtime and how long. 7:30 Central, we'll do some Bark Raiders. I wish there was a dog-based Bark Raiders game where you're just a dog hunting for bones and probably not shooting each other. ZZHE, I got no one else. Marv out. BTJ could be out. Should I start Aaron Jones? Yeah. Aaron Jones is fine to start. Blake Justin. Who this? I just like that it says who this. Puka and Chase Brown for Pickens, Jacobs, and Diggs. Give me the Puka side. I'll Puka for Puka. I would take the Puka side of that. Flex Tucker or Dobbs. Tucker. Bijan for CD and Swift. Yeah, give me CD and Swift. Mooney or Watson. Christian, I'll take Watson. Happy Hour. Help. Start 2 and flex. Downs, Pearsall, Tracy, or Boutte. Give me Pearsall and Tracy. Saquon, Javante, or Dowdle rest of season from Rack. Why? I think Saquon, but why? Shane Kindred, the Cardinals are signing running backs from the practice squad. Is Benson cooked, or is that just this week with no Amari? That's a good question. Who'd they sign? Let's look. Status TBD pending Friday practice. He's looked good in practice throughout the week. Benson's availability for Sunday will be determined on how Friday's practice goes. It could just be a DeMarcado situation. Jared Zuniga is back on TikTok. Ooh, someone joined the Scuba Steve with the heart me. Jared Zuniga is back. I have Dak and Drake May. Should I keep both or shop one out for some value? Absolutely shop one. You have to shop one. And it doesn't matter which one. I took the video about this, Jared, today, or I pinned it today. I made it. It's right here on TikTok. Here's my finger right there. It says, who do I trade? You got to trade one. And which one do you trade? The one that you can. Because if you're trading one of those guys, you're getting a running back or a wide receiver that you can then take and up tier somewhere else. So take Dak and all of your starters and try to get better starters, or take Dak and trade him straight up for a running back and then take that running back or a wide receiver and pair that with all your starters and try to get better starters. You want that stuff in your lineup. If you're starting Drake May every week going forward, I mean, I would, even with Drake May having a bye coming up, I would probably Still trade Dak away if that was the only option, and then try to get all of that value into your lineup. QT Snizzy, what's good? How are we feeling about Brissett this week? Thinking about starting him over Daniel Jones? I'm personally going to Daniel Jones. I'm personally just doing Daniel Jones. I don't really want to trust Jacoby Brissett unless my team is desperate. Juju says chill. He's going to get to your question. Not always. Not always. Not always. I get to Juju. Are there questions from Juju? I don't see one recently. Am I missing one from Andrew? Or is Andrew just hanging out today? The thing that we'll say to Eric, if you're on Twitch and YouTube, we cover every single thing there. We do our best on TikTok, but TikTok just doesn't really give that many tools for slowing down spammers like you. So if you do move over to Twitch and YouTube, it will get answered, but ask it once. Chance, first time chatter on Twitch. Ricky Pearsall or Genty? I think I'm going Genty. Novel Thunder. If I missed it? Oh, yeah, got a juicy one. Cook, Chase for Kyron Williams and JSN. Like Cook and Jamar Chase for Kyron Williams and JSN. I think I'm taking JSN and Kyron Williams. Gruden to USF. Oh, no. John Gruden? John Gruden emerges as head coach candidate for... Has this been announced? Let me know. Gruden to USF was question marks. I mean, I guess. Weird one, but Michael Wilson or Chase Brown in the flex this week from Erd. I don't know the YouTube is maybe it's just an update, but it seems broken to me. It doesn't show display names. So it just says, I don't know how to say your name, ERD. Weird one, but Michael Wilson or Chase Brown in the flex. I'm going with Chase Brown. I don't want to follow what happened with Michael Wilson. And this was a game where Jacoby Brissett broke the completions record because he put his team so far behind. So I'm just going to go with Chase Brown, who I think is just a better player. Ricky Pearsall Argenti, we covered. Novel Thunder, it's spicy. Yes, it is. Edge Lowell. Trade Gibbs for Rice and Javonte. I kind of need a depth. So it sounds like you already did it. Would I do that one? I think that's close enough where I could do that for the depth. I don't like doing a lot of 1-for-2s. Shane Kindred, Joe Green, USF on Twitter, which has a picture of them sitting down. I don't know. Ando Bobobo, Baker or Dart in the playoffs? I don't know. Probably for me, Baker in most weeks, but we'll rank them week by week. Pittman or Judkins at flex this week? Pittman. Very close. John Romano, flex spot, Mooney, Tootin, or Jawan Johnson. Maybe Jawan Johnson. I don't even know how healthy Tootin is. ISO Spooky, Sean Tucker over Ken Walker or Addison. I have him one single spot behind Ken Walker right now, but I might move him right this minute. No, I'm going to stick with Ken Walker against the Titans over Sean Tucker against the Rams, but it's back-to-back. And then over Addison, I kind of want to see, like, Addison's getting targets. I just want to see them get better. I just want to see, what's his name, be slightly better. JJ McCarthy before I'm starting Addison over those guys. But I wouldn't think you're crazy if you did. Where was that? Okay, Erdox says that's how I feel. Tom Lombardo got offered CD for Bucky. Should I take it? Would I trade away Bucky for CD? Yes, I would. Darnold or Williams? I have Caleb slightly ahead, Tommy boy. Matt, Jake, Kyle Pitts, or Ferguson? I would go Ferguson. Card Doc says thank you. Donovan says Jefferson, Tet, or Diggs, pick 2. I think I'm Jefferson and Diggs. Yeah, and Tet close behind those. ISO Spooky, I have Jefferson and Addison. So that's okay. I mean, they're just both in a rough spot with the quarterback, but just being on the same team doesn't worry me. Exosire, Hunter Henry, or Jawan. A slight edge to Hunter. Perkington Jerkington. Perky Jerky. Something's going on with YouTube where it's only showing like the usernames and not the display names. So you show up as Perkington Jerkington, which I assume is the same person as Perky Jerky. The question, I didn't even read the question. Rasheed and Chase Brown for Christian McCaffrey. That feels like a little too much. Like, or you could get something back with Christian McCaffrey on that one. C Breezy, pick 2, Mooney, Slayton, Dobbs. I think I'm going Slayton and Dobbs. Abba. I listen to a lot of Abba. This might not even be your name, but the first 4 letters are ABBA. So before we answer that, I will mention almost all of my Dynasty teams are just named after ABBA songs. This is not correct. Why would you do me like this, Sleeper? This is not the name of these teams. Super Trooper. Voulez-vous? Take a chance on me. It's all just ABBA songs. Your name might not even be ABBA related. Mamma Mia. Guys, listen to more ABBA is really all I'm trying to say. Pick 2, Xavier Worthy, Butte, or Slayton. I'll go Worthy and Booty. Perkington Jerkington, you would be correct. It is the one and only Perky Jerky. That one seemed... We had Joe Flacco and Joe Blacko show up. But I wouldn't expect that there's a lot of Perky Jerkies. Blake Rule, Ladin, Harold, Fannin for Zay Flowers and Jake Ferguson. Sure. To go from Fannin to Ferguson, would I go from Ladd to Flowers? I think so. Butte's back, so I'm a little iffy on Diggs over Tet. I feel you on that one, Donovan. They're close enough that you could swap it. Eli, how's Australia? Start Michael Wilson or Gainwell in the flex. I'll go Wilson. Because I don't know that he's going to be amazing, but he's still the lead option there. I've got him at 31 on the week, but Gainwell, if Tyler Warren's not playing against the Bears, I would start Gainwell ahead. But if Tyler Warren's playing, I'm going to go Michael Wilson first. Card Doc, Devontae Adams, Rashee Rice, Michael Pittman, and Jawan Jennings pick 2. The first 2, Adams and Rice. Michael Adams start Pearsall or Addison this week. It's rough. I feel better about Pearsall. I think I have Addison ranked ahead, but honestly, I might swap that and put. We just haven't seen Pearsall do it back healthy yet, but I like the situation with Pearsall a little bit more. Or we could call it a coin flip. Like, we don't know the future. Matt Jake, pick 2 to start. Kyron Williams, Higgins, Diggs. The first 2. Williams and Higgins for me. Fire Brian Johnson. Who's Brian Johnson? Godwin or Tucker this week? I think I'm going Tucker. There's probably a lot of Brian Johnsons. I don't know why I typed Brian. This guy? Probably not. Probably not the guy from AC/DC. My guess would be there are multiple Brian Johnsons. It's a common name. Perky Jerky, is Godwin startable this week? Yeah. But Card Doc says one more. Javonte Williams or Pittman at flex. I think I'm going Javonte. Pittman against... I mean, they're both really good options. I have Javonte at 9 for running backs and Pittman at 13. We will also mention that. Guys, if you just have wide receiver versus wide receiver questions, we have ranks right here. So it would be... I'm looking at the same ranks used in this video with only slight alterations. Like, we've moved up Sean Tucker at running back. But if your question is related to a wide receiver, I don't think we've really moved anyone since Tuesday. So any wide receiver versus wide receiver question, like Slayton or Pearson, the flex, would be answered in the video there. Leah Cook, sit one. Higgins, Adams, Rice. It would be Higgins for me, which is what I have right here. I have Rice at 5. Where is Adams? Adams at 7. Higgins at 10. And that would all be in the ranks too. Same room. Different shoes in the video. These ones are the same. I'm trying to find my finger on the camera. This one is different compared to the image that I'm looking at on the screen. Zach Rabba, Godwin, or Stevenson at the flex. Oh no. Oh no. Let's go Stevenson for the touchdown. Mike, 519 Mike, London for Trevion and Addison. I would want something more. So Mike, I'm sorry, I'm feeling my brain getting foggy. We did a video on Drake London yesterday. Trades for Drake London. I think you could get more, like a better trade if you're sending him away. So check that out for those. Scuba Steve, got to send my new Air Max 90s in the sneaker chat. Please do. Please do. I got the Air Max 1s. They're stiff. They're like the special gamer ones. I don't know why. They're not better for gaming. They just have, they're a polygonal swoosh on them. Brees, I have lots of questions today. Stash Butte or Godwin for rest of season? I think Godwin. A slight edge to Godwin. But really, you can't go wrong grabbing one or both. Lorenzo, how deep do the wide receiver ranks go? I'm debating flex in an 18-team league. I won't lie to you. They don't go that deep. They don't go that deep. Because once you're that deep, like Matthew Golden or I don't even have other players at that range listed, it starts to become dart throws. I don't know how many people out there are ranking guys that deep comfortably or confidently or really staking their reputation on their ability to pick who's the 50th best wide receiver versus the 54th. I don't know how many people are really doing that. Bree think the Nike Full Forces are pretty cool. Got a pair from the outlet. Ooh, let me look. Ooh. Yeah. I don't stray too far away from just the Jordans, maybe an Air Force One. Got the Phantom Olives, didn't wear them today since it's raining here. That's true. Maybe you get some dunks for the rain. What do we got coming out soon? I don't really wear 11s. I like my 3s. How are we feeling on these Black Cat 4s? How are we feeling on these? To me, if you're wearing an all black shoe, I'm assuming you're working in a restaurant. I'm assuming you work in a restaurant, and that's what I think about these. Like, just put on some black Skechers and you'll be a waiter. This feels like you're waiting tables. Maybe some of those though, not all black. We'll see. We'll see someday. Scuba Steve, or you like to fight people if you're wearing the Black Cat 4s. I would like to fight people, but I also know I would lose. Adam Flynn, do you like sending Adams for Ibuka? I might just stay with Adams. Exo Sire stuck between DK or Sutton moving forward. That feels right. Like, what are you stuck between just having them moving forward, like on your team? What is the decision? I think I'd be happy with either one. LS75, not L7 Weenie. Tyler Warren, Monty, or Ken Walker in the flex. I mean, if you could move Tyler Warren and Monty for a much better running back or much better wide receiver, I would. And that probably gets you a better flex option in general. Just doing a 2-for-1. Maybe you're through the deadline. I think I'm going Tyler Warren there. Fire Brian Johnson is Zay for Sean Tucker fair. I think I want the Zay side. Dom, help me out with Bucky. I would try some Serenity Nows. Serenity Now. Maybe some soothing. Maybe a nice candle. Ooh, a warm bath? Really just help calm you down, Dom? Corn Pop was a bad dude joint. That's one of the better names. Thank you, Corn Pop. Oh man. Was it Corn Pop with like a shiv or something by the pool? Is that the story, Corn Pop? I don't mean to, I almost never call people out as it says when they joined, but someone saying Corn Pop was a bad dude joined on the TikTok feed. We'll see if Corn Pop is still here if they respond. Thank you, CP, for being here. It's me, sit one, Genty, Kamara, Aaron Jones. Genty, Kamara, Aaron Jones. I think I'm sitting Kamara. I'm fading. It's taken me a minute to think through these. Sam, Candle, yes. Yeah, for Bucky. Candles. Maybe an adult beverage. Calm you down, depending on how those hit you. If they don't make you angry. Maybe if they don't make you loud. A nice relax. Playoffs in this league are week 13, and I'm scared. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a soothing lullaby, because the end is coming soon, Dom. Maybe something like that. Exosire, you got to put one in the lineup. Cortland Sutton's on bye. So DK or Sutton moving forward. It's DK this week, and then we see how it goes next week. Maybe you feel better next week, Sire, about DK. Maybe he crushes my Bears. He could. And then you feel really good. Big Ash, Devontae Adams, and Mooney for Josh Jacobs and Tank Dell. Is this a dynasty deal? Is Tank Dell on pace to come back this year? I don't think so. I'm just sticking with Devontae Adams here. Unless you're really craving a running back. If you need a running back, go for it. Shane, I'm dying at these responses to Bucky. Oh, okay. Let's see what Dom says. I managed to get all of Achane, Bucky, Rice, Chase, JSN in the draft, so it's like the Infinity Stone. Of what? Just a really good team, and you're worried about Bucky coming back? You could make a swap and get someone else. Jacob says, I got offered Bucky and for Rico. What should I do? Just stay with Rico. Why are we taking on the extra worry? Warren or Gainwell this week from Ray. Let's take a look, Ray. I'm just behind. So I have not looked at the player blurb. My take on Gainwell was we'll find out Friday or Saturday if he's playing. And if he's playing, I'm starting him. And if he's not, I'm starting Gainwell. And it's not going to be both. Kenneth Gainwell emerging as top RB handcuff from 2 days ago. Why did I search Gainwell? I meant to search the other one. Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren ankle at practice Friday. Analysis Warren made his return to a limited practice Thursday. He's on track to be good to go Sunday against the Bears. Then I'm starting Warren, and then I'm not starting Gainwell. We had someone without a name with the follow on TikTok. Thank you, no name. Miles Kim, Bucky for Tet. I think you can get more. I think you could still get more. Tank Dell is supposed to come back this year from Big Ash. I don't know that. Let's take a look. Tank Dell's return in 2025 not imminent. Now this was from a month ago. The text is very small on everywhere we're watching. If you're watching on Twitch, the text is small. It's small on my screen, so it's probably tiny on your phone. This is from a month ago saying his return in 2025 is not imminent. Does imminent mean not within a month? I'm not sure when he's coming back, and if he does come back, does he immediately jump up ahead of Nico Collins or Higgins or these other options? I'm not banking on him being around for me this year. ISO Spooky. I have Henry and Achane on bye, and in a must-win situation, I did Chase, Cade Otton, and Woody Marks for Jefferson, Warren, and Kenbo Walker. Jamar Chase, Cade Otton, and Woody Marks for Jefferson, Jaylen Warren, and Kenbone. I don't hate it. Let's get you the win. Ash on YouTube, where it's not showing me the readable names anymore. Is it smart to do Troy Franklin for Sean Tucker with a guy I'm playing next week? Like, I don't know that Sean Tucker. I don't know that I would send. Would I send Franklin for Tucker? I don't know that I am in general, and I wouldn't take into account who I'm playing next week. I rarely worry about who I'm trading with and when I'm playing them and what the situation is. Like, it's either a good trade for your team or it's not. So I typically just stick with that rule. I don't think I ever saw Corn Pop was a bad dude. Say anything in the chat. For I guess most people don't know what I'm talking about. There was a name came through on TikTok. Corn Pop was a bad dude. I think that was Joe Biden telling a rambling story about him working as a lifeguard at a pool and a confrontation with him getting into it with a guy named Corn Cob or Corn Pop who had a knife, and he said Corn Pop was a bad dude in the story, and it was funny. It's just a meme. It's just a meme. Daniel Choi, Joe Burrow, or Daniel Jones. If Burrow's playing, I think I would slot him in ahead of Jones. Alex the Mod says going to teach Arc Raiders later. We will be streaming Arc Raiders later tonight at like 7:30ish. 7:30ish. Scuba Steve, a really bad dude. Yeah, he was. So we'll be on Arc Raiders. Probably getting a little nasty out there. Scrapping. Doge D-Man, how's everyone doing today? There he is. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Yes, and he ran with a bunch of bad boys. Yeah, thank you, Corn Pop. I apologize for calling you specifically out. You're the only person that I call out as they join for the name. Would I trade Chase for Rasheed Rice and Hampton? Jamar Chase for Rice and Hampton? If you need it, like, I could, yeah. I could, because Hampton should be back. It's a risky thing. Like, I don't know that I'm for sure doing it, Papa Meeks. Like, you don't have to do it. I think you could stay with Chase and be fine, but there is that small chance that it puts you ahead. We got a YouTube sub from Ashraf. Thank you for that. Swift or Sean Tucker from James Barkwill. I think I still am going to lean towards Swift, and it's close. I've got Swift at 15. The Steelers are tough, and Sean Tucker at 22. I don't like the Rams matchup for Sean Tucker is part of it. Where is this? Right here. Like, Pittsburgh Steelers has been pretty tough to run on. Rams have been tough to run on. So they're very close, but I'm giving a teeny tiny edge to Swift. Scuba Steve, he didn't call the Popo though. Old Joe didn't back down from Corn Pop. And you can't. That's a life lesson. Doesn't matter what they're holding, what kind of a dude they are. You can talk your way out of it. We don't need the Popo. Breakdown HQ, Sean Tucker or Manungai rest of season. Manungai? I mean, maybe we just go with Sean Tucker because he has more potential to start. It's me. How's your week been? Pretty good, thank you. Pretty good, thank you. I think, so we did a change up on Monday for the streams. There's just not that many fantasy questions on Monday, and the trades are going to get even fewer as more people clear their deadline. So I think next week we'll do some sort, probably Arc Raiders on Monday on the short week. Breakdown HQ with the follow. Doge D-Man with the follow. You're washed. Michael Wilson or Sean Tucker. I need boom. I think I'm going with Sean Tucker on the boom. It's possible that Michael Wilson blows up again, but this passing offense has not had really any receiver doing what Michael Wilson did last week. I think it's a bit more fluky. And Sean Tucker is just a decent running back. Did I miss? Okay, this is probably Ashraf. Sorry, the names are looking a little odd here. So Ashraf. What about Troy Franklin for DJ Moore and Sean Tucker? If not, I'd be forced to start Singletary. You could do that. So Troy Franklin for DJ Moore and Sean Tucker is definitely better than just Sean Tucker. Could you move Franklin and another player for... you could possibly just move Franklin for Kamara and start him. Franklin for Ken Walker against the Titans. Could you move Franklin and Singletary and see if you could get ETN in that trade to get to something there? Otherwise, Singletary has been getting half the work, and let's see how bad has he been. That's not even the name I'm looking for. I'm looking for Singletary. 10 and 17 from running back. So we might be okay there. But I would try to pair, even if you could pair Singletary and Franklin and get a better guy. Check out other really, really explore the options before you do it. Otherwise, Troy Franklin for Sean Tucker for this week is not crazy. Brady, what do I do with Bucky? You just got to wait, Brady. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you. Is Bucky worth trading for? I mean, it depends on the prices. I would get in kind of low, but I'm worried. With Bucky, Irving showing they are out, who'd you start in 2 flexes between Tucker, Wilson, Rico, and Pierce? I mean, I'm starting Rico Dowdle and then probably Sean Tucker. If it's Emmanuel Wilson starting, I might put him over Tucker. Did I skip twice bias? 2-part question. Bench Genty the week against Cleveland for Gainwell. Not for Gainwell. If Jalen Warren is playing, I don't really want to be using Gainwell, and I would go with Genty. And then Leggett or Mac Hollins at the flex. I think I would go with Leggett ahead of Mac Hollins because Kayshon Boutte is back. Nike Rise, would you start either Neal, Luther Burden, or should I keep Judkins handcuff on my team? I don't need a handcuff for Judkins. I don't know that it would. I think it would just become a split of garbage between Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson. I don't know that Dylan Sampson would become amazing. So, like, stash either Neal or Burden. Like, none of them seem that exciting to me. Or like that there's maybe the best way to say this is like there's not really a good way to give the correct advice here because so much of what will become correct is like nope, I've read it, I thought about it, I'm going back and forth. We're at the end, gang. I'm just stashing Burden. I'm stashing Luther Burden for 1 to 2 more weeks, Nike. Raymond Raygoza on TikTok, would you do London and Genty for Jacobs? I don't know that I want to have to send all of Genty on there, but as a follow-up, because we're wrapping up, we did Drake London video and or trade analysis yesterday, where I don't remember, like, it might be surprising that I don't remember all of the thoughts and takes as I give them on here. I don't remember what I said about Drake London or any of the specific trades in this video, but I did go through real trades that are happening for Drake London and gave my thoughts, and if I looked at it again, it would be the same thoughts. I would say it the same way again if I pulled up those same trades, but I don't remember what I said. But take a look. It's a good video about what Drake London is getting traded for in real leagues. We're at the end. We're at 2 o'clock. We're caught up on everything from Twitch and YouTube, where we always cover everything, almost always. Il Webby, what's your opinion on Cedric Tillman? Very low thoughts. Fine stash option because we haven't seen Shedeur Sanders start. If you have a bench spot, pick up Tillman and see what happens. If you don't, or if nothing happens, drop him next week. Last one from Doge D-Man on TikTok because he says he apologizes for something, which always wins points. Apologizes for asking so much. You should always ask stuff. Thank you, Doge D-Man. This only exists if people ask, so I always end by saying thank you for all of the questions. This one was, what value should I go for trading Genty away? That's right here. Ashton Genty and more fantasy trade values. You could check that one out, Doge. Yeah, that one's on YouTube. It's the same name. Boom Bust Fantasy, same face, same guy, same chair. I did this one a few days ago. The trade values would be the same. You can check that one out. Guys, we're wrapping up. We will be back on probably later. I don't know that I have anything going on tonight. Doing Arc Raiders, covering some questions, but mostly just hanging out on live. That'll be on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch as well. Thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you for the gifters. Thank you to Scuba Steve for helping us hit the sub goal on Twitch. We've got the streak back up at 1. Thank you to the others who subbed, like Dolg, Storytime 97, Silent Crow, who probably aren't even here, but we thank them. Thank you to the gifters, Low, Stano, Real G Savage, Adrian. I'm just scanning and saying names as I see them. Evan Mallet. That's not everyone, but we're always thankful. Thank you for anyone who asked a question. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for any new TikTok followers. Last question from Ben, who says, who should I try to get out of Genty? Only because we have it pulled up and we just covered that one. Ben, if you're just joining in, we are at the end. But that video is on YouTube. We recorded it a couple days ago. It is the same values today as it was then. So Ashton Genty trade values and more is right there on YouTube. Same name as TikTok at Boom Bust Fantasy. I'm just going to start finding the way to close these out. I always go wrong answering more questions than I mean to, but we're at the end. I'm going to go eat. End of the live on TikTok. That is gone. TikTok is gone. The others will go when I click this.